Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahigana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Dapikanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Everyone can see my screen? Yes, okay.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, welcome everyone for the second last class for this module. So today we thought we'll do some revision. And before revision, I think we decided last class we'll do the question answers for the first 3 chapters. Oh, sorry. We have done 3 chapters, right? Already. So we're just doing 10, 11, and 12, right? So let's do question answers quickly. Okay. Okay. Is it visible to everyone on the screen? It's only what? 9 questions, or 9 or 10 questions. Okay, let's do it quickly. Rasan and Prabhuji, you want to take over?
Sure.
We can all unmute and participate in the answers. Even the recording doesn't come good, it's okay.
I think everyone has done these questions before.
Actually, turn 22, I want to talk about it. This is a single question, and I've been looking at the assignments. I haven't completed, obviously, around 50% I have done. I would say 90% of devotees haven't got it right. 90%. I've seen only 1 copy so far, and I can say that Akhand Rasa Prabhu, he has written it very nicely. Rasan Prabhu, I have not seen your copy, so I can't say.
Okay.
Yeah, but somehow or other, let me open this one. Oh, sorry. So everyone understand the question. Which phrase in text 12, which is 10 and 12, proves that Supreme is different from the individual soul? So if we read this verse, Param Brahma Param Dham, so this is the verse which we are talking, English or Sanskrit. Param Brahma Param Dham, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. So I'll ask everyone, what are different words which shows that Supreme Person is different than the Jiva? So you can choose, anyone can start.
Adi Devam.
Adi Devam, where is it? Adi Devam. Okay, what does it mean?
The original Lord.
Original Lord. Are we original Lord? No. Okay, so that's definitely, Tari Mataji, you're right. So this is the word for Supreme, right? It cannot denote a living entity. Thank you, Mataji. Ajam. I'm just going in a row.
And Vibhum.
Ajam is for both.
Krishna.
No, actually both. We are also Aja. As a soul, we are Aja. So we're also unborn. Krishna is also unborn. Good try, Rupa Prabhu. Vibhum. So you can say Ajam is for both. That's fine. So there are some features which are for both. Some are only applicable for Supreme Lord. So Ajam is for both. Adideva only for Supreme. Vibhum. Vibhum means
The greatest.
Greatest.
the greatest. Are we the greatest?
Oh, Krishna is the greatest.
Greatest. And what's the word used for Jiva?
Anu.
Anu. So Vibhu and Anu. So Vibhu represents Supreme. So there are two words found in the fourth line. Let's do the first line. Anyone can say which word is for Supreme and which is for Jiva?
Param Brahma.
Param Brahma. Thank you. Are we Param Brahma?
No, we are only Brahma.
We are Brahma. So Brahma is for us, Param Brahma. So we can say this as a combination is only applicable for Supreme. But for us, Brahma is also correct. We are also Brahma. Param Dhama. Param Dham means
Abode.
abode. Param Dham means
Supreme abode.
supreme abode. Or also can be taken as shelter. So Krishna who gives shelter to everyone. Are we able to give shelter to everyone?
No.
Just a small family is good enough. Sometimes that's also too much. Radha Govind Maharaj was telling in one class, running a kingdom is easier than running a family. Akhandra Prabhu is fully in agreement. Sometimes it seems like that. It's so difficult, just a small family. So we cannot be in that category at all. We can give shelter to someone sometime, for some time. That also with help of Krishna. We cannot give shelter to too many jivas. Paramdham is only applicable for Krishna. So two epithets are there for Krishna. Pavitram, Paramam, Bhavan. Bhavan means you, aap. Since Sanskrit, instead of you, it says Bhavan, aap. And what's the translation of you in Sanskrit? Everyone knows that.
You are the absolute truth.
Now, what's the Sanskrit word for you? So for
Tvam.
aap, it's Bhavan.
Bhavan.
Tvam.
Tvam.
Ah.
Aham tvam sarva papebhyo, for example. Tvam means you, Bhavan means aap. So second person, English is all you, Bhavan. And Pavitram Paramam, who is the supremely pure?
Krishna.
Definitely we are not. So that is for Krishna, very clear. Purusham Shashwatam Divyam. Which word applicable for Jiva, which is for Krishna?
Purusha is both, but he is the supreme Purusha.
Technically speaking, we are Prakriti. Purush means Bhokta, enjoyer. So we are to be enjoyed by Krishna. Now we are trying to be Purusha. That's a separate story. In the Prakriti right now, we're all trying to enjoy. We are acting as a Purusha. We are not Purusha. We are Prakriti. And that's why the incompatibility is there and we suffer. But when we serve Krishna and we are to be enjoyed by Krishna, when we make nice bhoga for Krishna, dress Krishna nicely, do some seva nicely for Krishna, actually we feel satisfaction in our heart. So we are trying to be Purusha, but we are not Purusha. We are Prakriti, technically speaking. He is the Purusha. He is the enjoyer. And also there's a word added here, Shashwatam Purusha. And how long he is Purusha for? Shashwat. Even if you apply this for us, we can be Purusha only for a little time. Now, here Purusha does not mean male, female. Definitely it's an enjoying mentality. So Krishna is the Purusha, and he's Purusha for all the time. Not that only in Satyuga he was a Purusha, then someone else became Purusha. Nothing like that. So Shashwatam Purusha, you can say, that is only Krishna. Divyam. Divyam means transcendental. Is applicable for whom? Lord or Jiva?
Krishna.
Krishna. And what about Jiva?
The soul is eternal.
And transcendental. So Divya word applies for both because we are also transcendental by nature. But at the moment, obviously, our bodies are not transcendental. Our bodies are subject to all these miseries. So if you just look at the whole thing, Aja and Divyam refers to both common. And I think 6 are there, which is only for the Lord. So question 22, which phrase? You actually have to write those 6 words and their meaning, which represent Supreme is different from Jiva.
Okay. So, Prabhu, can you go back to your previous page?
Sure. Yes.
So, Prabhu, if it wasn't Purusham Shashwatam, it was just Shashwatam, then it could have gone both ways, right? As
Absolutely,
a soul
absolutely.
as well as
Yeah.
super soul. But since it's Purusham is there, that's why we need to understand that from Krishna's point of view.
Yeah. Now, there's another reason why Shashwat is coming before Purusha, because Divya word is there. So Divya is transcendental. Transcendental cannot be temporary, right? It's out of the modes of material nature. Soul is out of the modes of material nature, pure soul. So Shashwat has to come here. But you're right. If you just take the word Shashwat, we both are Shashwat. By nature, we are both Shashwat. Soul is not subject to birth and death. Only your body is subject to birth and death and all the miseries. You're right. But what is Shashwat actually is the adjective of Purusha, is saying how long he's Purusha for? Shashwat Purusha. Always enjoy. He's never like, today Krishna's mood is upset because, Radharani has done man. Krishna is upset today. Don't talk to Krishna. He's very upset today. He's going to curse. No, Krishna can never get angry. It says a jiva cannot do anything ever which will make Lord angry or upset in such a way that Lord will say, Bhaiya bahut ho gaya. Had enough with you. Been supporting you for n number of zillion years. Now enough is enough. You just now हम लोग ये बात बोलते हैं ना. We all say these words many times with each other. हो गया, बहुत हो गया. Imagine how much Lord is tolerating us. How much Lord is tolerating in each birth. Is this clear?
So Prabhu, so isme in here we have to list like 6 of the names,
Yes,
like
yes,
Param
Mataji.
Brahma,
1, 2,
then
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can say, 2 common and 6 separate. Now, how you write is up to you, but I like listings.
Okay.
Because this put just which, Prabhu, I've also given only the first term, that's it.
Okay.
Brahma.
Yeah,
So,
so
yeah, that was the
that's
confusion.
the answer actually. Which phrase in the text? It's not about markings here, but just understanding.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No,
So,
but I'm getting 5, right? Param Brahma, Param Dhamma,
okay, let's count it.
then
Prabhuji.
Pavitram Param,
Yeah,
One,
5 names.
Shashwadam,
two,
Adi Devam.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are there total. 2 are common. So 6 for the Lord.
Rasanan Prabhu, you missed the last one, Vibhum.
No, Ajam and Divyam are common, Prabhu, right?
Yes,
Ajam
that's
and
correct.
Divyam. So others like Pavitram Param is 1 or 2?
No, Prabhu, just 1. That's Param Pavitra.
So Vibhu I missed.
Vibhu,
Okay, Vibhu I
Prabhuji.
missed.
Yes.
So Prabhu, should we mention Sanskrit as well as English?
Yes, now I'll come to that in a minute, but is this point clear to everyone? I'll come to that Sanskrit and English part in a minute. Do we understand the difference and the similarity as well, right? Now, Ujjwala Samataji has mentioned a good question. Now, I've been looking at the assignments since yesterday and been a very good experience. Some people have really written very nice, so thank you to all of them. It takes a lot of effort. Now, many times, and I can just give one example here, if I remember the number. In chapter 7. Okay, this just an example, right? So question number 8, anyone can read this. With what Sanskrit word does Krishna describe the impersonalist? Anyone remembers this? Everyone knows this one. Sanskrit. Abudaya, thank you so much. Now, some people have literally written Abudaya. So my expectation, I think I have already explained as well. I literally want some explanation of that. So yes, the question is saying, what is the Sanskrit word? Just Abudaya is not enough actually. And some people have written a paragraph on it, which is very nice. So at least when these sort of questions come, please explain it. Maybe 2 lines. I'm not expecting like half a page of essay, but at least 2 lines. Who is this Abudaya and why they are called Abudaya? So word Abudaya is correct. Abudaya means no intelligence. So please write some context and some explanation. That's my expectation. Now, I'm not saying you write 400-word essay on the word Abudaya. You can write impersonalism. There's a whole impersonalism actually. Why they are Abudaya? Prabhupada writes it. So requesting I have not deducted the marks for this question, which I thought initially I should, but then I thought, many people have done it. So I'm being open here. I have not deducted the marks, but please next time I will deduct. My expectation, you as a Bhakti Shastri student should be able to explain 2-3 lines at least. Some people have written a paragraph, which is really nice. So just write in summaries for our own benefit. Now, Ichha and Dvesha, same thing has happened. Okay, not this one. I've seen other terms as well. Give the English meaning. Yeah, this one here. People have literally pasted the translation from here like this, not even changed the font. Please, I would humbly request all of you, you can paste and I don't mind pasting, but then what is our input to that question? That's my question. So you have pasted it, which is technically correct, but what's our input to the question? Not cut, copy and paste. That's not which is expected. So you can cut and paste, that's fine. And honestly, I don't mind writing HRTAGNANAH. You don't have to worry about the diacritics on the top. I'm not expecting that, but I prefer you guys to write with your own hand. Cut copy is easier, I understand, but write shloka by hand. What's the problem? By writing, actually you're learning it. There is no need to cut copy, but you can, and I'm being open about it, you can copy Prabhupada's 4-line verse and translation, that's fine. The rest of the verse, rest of the answer should come in your own language. And that's not very correct when you just cut paste from here and think that the question is done. Just like that, people have put, you can see, I can show you the copies. So please don't do that next time. I need explanation here. Hirtagyana, what is this Hirtagyana we are talking about? And many times even in the class, I translate the word and then I explain the word. So translation is okay, but I want some explanation, 2 to 3 line explanation. It doesn't take long time, but it clarifies your thoughts. So basically you're learning forever when you're writing, because your thought will be very clear. So don't just give the answer, give some proper answer. Again, not a long answer, but proper answer. Everywhere you should do that. Sanskrit and English, for me, it's the same thing. Which language you prefer, I don't care, to be honest. Explanation for me, like Prabhupada, purports are the most important. Why? Otherwise, Prabhupada should have said, just read the translation, good enough. No, purports, that's the prana of Prabhupada's message. So when we read Prabhupada purport and then we write in our own words, our thoughts become clear. And then the concept stays in our head for a long time. So again, as I said, I've not deducted mark because maybe I did not emphasize it enough. But next time, if you just write the translation in English or Sanskrit, that's not good enough for the answer. And please do that for everything. Like, give the English meaning of the phrase. People have put literally synonym from Veda base. Sometimes there's 2 terms here, like Ananya Cheta Tasyam Salva. They put the first synonym, they forgot to paste the second synonym. And I was very surprised. They pasted the first synonym, thinking the question will be done. No one is going to look at the assignment. I'm looking at every single word. I'm being honest. Every single word, I'm looking at it. Now, I may not comment on every single word, which I would love to, but that'll take another 30 hours of my time to call you and just sit with you and go through. So please, for your own purpose, I don't want big writings. I don't want beautiful English. I'm not deducting mark if your spellings are incorrect, which you can actually correct in Word. There's a facility. Many people have not even done the word check before submitting. And one more request, some people have done no formatting or very little formatting. I'm sure we are all learned people. I am doing formatting of your assignments. Some people have not even put Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, chapter 8. They've just dumped from PDF copy, you can say 3 layers of bullet points. Please check your formatting before you submit. I'm sure you will not submit assignment in your workplace like that. There are 3 different fonts in one answer, which clearly shows you have pasted from somewhere. 3 different types of fonts. Sizes are different. No indenting, no spacing. Things are everywhere. And that's been just given to me 11 p.m. Last night. That's not the way we do Bhakti Shastri. If that's how busy you are, probably you should not pursue further. I'm sorry. We're not here to get a certificate. Ghanshyam Prabhu has mentioned, if you want a certificate, just approach to Ghanshyam Prabhu. And he said, I'll print a certificate for you. So get a certificate if that's what the purpose is. Bhakti Shastri, this is a very, very simple version. I humbly request all of you to put some extra effort if you have not done it. Now, many people have done extra super work, and I have to appreciate. They've written like 17-page assignment for this 30 questions. I'm like, wow, I wasn't expecting, I'm being honest. And some people are literally putting effort. And sometimes I literally get no formatting. I can't even understand which chapter answer you are giving. Where the question and answer, there's no space given, nothing is done. It's all intermingled. And I have to spend 15, 20 minutes just to understand how the flow is. And I tried to do in one copy. Honestly, I gave up then. I gave up, like, I can't spend 15 minutes just in the formatting. So please do. If you can't do, take help. There are many intelligent people in this call. And if you don't know, ask Sundar Gopal Prabhu. He can direct you. One of them who can help you in formatting. And if you trust that person, you can copy paste, as I said, just do copy paste of the verse. And you can write by your own hand. I never mind any bad English. We are not testing English here. We're just testing the concept. So please make sure you're doing it for yourself. So please put some extra effort. Yeah, okay, let's move forward. Sorry, I'm just fresh in my mind, honest, looking at these copies. Some are super good. Some are not up to the mark. So next time, please make it better.
No, Prabhu, sorry, Prabhu, the chapter,
Yes.
this phrase you said, no, which mentions the Supreme.
Yes.
So we have to, from each line, we have to mention.
Yes,
that's what
Prabhu, you can copy this verse, and I'm being open here. You can copy this line here. After this,
Yeah.
you write your own thing. Why Parabrahma is only applicable for Supreme? Just write one line. We are Brahma. He's Supreme Brahma.
Okay.
Paramdhama. He's the supreme shelter. We are not shelter. Just what we are discussing here. You can write one line for each aspect. Vibhum. Supreme personality is Vibhu. We are Anu. We are very minute. Divya, why we are both transcendental. You can write that. So what happens, Prabhuji? When we write with our own hands, the concept stays in our mind. Now we can shortcut it and just copy paste and move on. But why are we rushing? I don't know. Why are we rushing? This is for our own improvement. So we're rushing all the time. There's only 4 pages assignment in 6 months. I'm not sure why are we rushing. Spend your time, give yourself some opportunity to learn. Actually, we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to learn. So no one else can do anything. So yes, please write each line. Parabrahma, you can write in your own words why Parabrahma is for Supreme. Just 1 line, 1.5 line. It doesn't take too long. This also, I would prefer you write on your own without even looking at it. And by doing that, you learn the verse for the rest of your life. Even if you forget the verse, after 10 years, you open the verse, you start the verse, you'll know exactly that verse. It happens with me. So write. By writing, you will learn. So don't avoid writing. Again, I'm not expecting too much writing, but 1 or 2 lines of writing you can do in Abudaya, for example. And there are other examples as well. This Nimitta Matram, this is also, many copies have come as it is. What's the reference of this? What's the context of this? What does it apply for us? We can write a whole essay on Nimitta Matram. So I can expect at least 2 lines from Bhakti Shastri students. So please write 2 lines next time. I have not deducted marks if you have done it correctly this time, but next time, please do that. I started putting some notes in some copies, but then I thought, yeah, it's too much for me to write. I can't spend, honestly, 50 hours in checking 23 copies, and there are quite a few things to check. So make some standard as you're submitting assignment in your workplace, a PPT at your workplace, you do your best. So do your best. If you don't know, it's absolutely, we don't have to become a computer expert here. Find someone who can help you. But when the final product comes, it's like when you make bhoga for Krishna, do you throw chapati here and dal here and chawal here and just dump everything on top of each other and put it in front of Krishna? How do you offer a thali in front of Krishna? That's how your assignment is, like a thali going to Krishna. I'm not checking, to be honest. I may not be here tomorrow or day after tomorrow, but this is your own devotional service for Krishna. Make a nice thali for Krishna. Dal in a separate bowl, sabji in a separate bowl, chawal separately. Put dhani on top of dal. Put some chapati put some ghee on the chapati. It's for Krishna. So your assignment should reflect your feeling, how you present your thali to Krishna. And if you can't do that, learn from someone. That's fine. And I'm not expecting you to become computer expert or English expert, concept expert. That's all I want. You can write in Hindi, honestly. One person actually wrote in simple paper and he submitted. I accepted the assignment actually in piece of paper. But then I said, take help from someone, it's easier. But that's not the expectation in Bhakti Shastri, that you become computer expert, just simple writing, but in a little better way. And please don't use red color because red I usually use for marking purposes. You can use other color, that's fine. But a question can be in a bold or underline, and then answer can be after the answer, you can have 2 spaces and then start the next question. Have a Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 or 8 or whatever, like in a 16 font, your questions can be in 12 font. Someone submitted me in the font was like 18 or 19. There was 63-page assignment. It was like, that's too much. So I had to reduce it down. It became 5 pages. And I have done formatting on you. I will submitting copy back to you. So you can see there's some adjustments being done, but no answer has been changed. But I've done some adjustments so that I can read. I like reading a clear file, not a messy file. It's very hard to read a messy file. So I don't want 63 pages, don't want 2 pages, somewhere in between where I can see you have put effort. English is not a criteria, computer skills is not a criteria, but cleanliness, I'm sure we can do. If you're not, ask Sundar Gopal Prabhuji, and we can direct few devotees who can help you. And we can also give you some samples. If that works for you, we're not binding you to the samples, but if that was for you, we can give you the sample, just follow that, just fill in the blanks there. Fonts will be there, paragraphing will be there, you just have to write it. If you want that default, so Sundar Prabhu actually suggested that, we were discussing that, but I said, okay, just leave everyone as it is. But if you want facility, it's all there. Okay, let's stop on the formatting side of it. Let's move.
So Prabhu, sorry, just clarifying. Yes. So like chapter 10, first answer. Yes. So it is important that we mention both the Sanskrit terms and the English terms as well?
Absolutely. Okay. Parabrahma, so translation as per Prabhupada, you can write Prabhupada says supreme truth. Perfect. This is how much I would expect to start the verse, and then I would expect a line or 2 from individual, your understanding why it is like that. And honestly, believe me, by writing, you're doing benefit to yourself, not to me. Bhakti Shastri will finish in 1.5 years or something like that. We may be in a different services after that. So our relation in this seva is very short actually, but your relation to Bhagavad Gita is eternal. So improve that relationship with Bhagavad Gita. That's my request. People will change. People will change. Our situations will change. But you and Bhagavad Gita relation should actually improve. You should love Bhagavad Gita. You should know where to go, how to find out straight away. So the more you go inside, the better it is for you. So a request for you, for yourself. Bhakti Shastri actually, in one sense, is to support you that relationship. Otherwise, externally, it's nothing. Internally, it has a lot of meaning, So this course should fulfill that purpose. Okay. Sorry, Rasan and Prabhuji. That was the only question. Actually, I had to like red mark it, and I put in all 23 different coloring for that. Every single I cannot say every single, like so far 70% have seen it's incorrect, incomplete. Okay, let's move forward. 23. Jnana Deepena, anyone like to comment on that?
Lamp of knowledge.
Thank you, Mataji. And how does it applicable in our life?
Basically just killing the darkness of ignorance.
Yes.
By lighting the lamp of knowledge.
So as Tanya Mataji said, we can write this one line as an application. So Krishna becomes like the Jnana Deepa and kills that knowledge through Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. I'm just saying you don't have to write this, but so we can write a line on that rather than just pasting the meaning of that. So Jnana Deepa, you can write the translation of it, and then you can say Krishna becomes that shining lamp of knowledge. Now, again, you can write the whole essay and say how this 10:11 goes back to 10:10. Whom Krishna helped. So those people, Krishna becomes the shining lamp of knowledge. Huh? So we can write so much. Jagat, someone else can say. Not the translation, everyone knows the translation here. What does it, how does it apply? basically.
The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the universe by him entering in all things as the supersoul in each living entity. Thus, he pervades the entire cosmos. Nothing can exist without him.
Good.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. So basically, Krishna by his ek ansha. Ansha means, anyone knows the meaning of ansha?
The part, Amsa is
Part.
part.
Yeah, and part is called in Sanskrit?
Fragment.
Sanskrit word. The part of the part.
Kola is Kola.
Kala. Thank you, Vinay Prabhuji. Kala. So there's Ansha avatar and there's Kala avatar. Huh? So Ansha and Kala. So Ek Anshena. So what does Ansha represents? The personal expansion of Krishna. Huh? And Kala refers to expansion. Example of Kala avatar, Krishna's Kala avatar. There are hundreds, anyone.
Expansion.
Which we have studied. I've sent two
Purusha
diagrams. Huh?
Purusha Avatars.
Name Prabhuji.
Vasudeva
Karma,
Krishna.
Narayan, Narayan, Vishnu, Kalavatar. Huh? They all Vishnu Tattva. Is no less in Tattva wise. Why? It has not come directly from Krishna. Now there are many more examples. Anyway, so Ek Anshain. So Krishna from a fragment part and fragment of his energy sustains the entire universe. Okay. Next one, Prabhuji. Unless someone else wants to add something, I'm open to hear. Okay, everyone is happy. Why does Arjuna ask Krishna to explain? I'm sure everyone has done it correctly so far, at least. Huh? Similar question 25 as well. How does universal form differ from other forms of the Lord? Yeah, some comments on this one. 26.
Arjuna wants to see the universal form of the Lord to convince others in the future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, and he wants to set a criteria for whoever claims to be Krishna in the future, or those who pose themselves as incarnation of God should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people.
But we're reading the 26th one. You're reading the 25. So how does universal form differ from other forms of Lord?
Which one?
26.
Universal form is transcendental but temporary, as it is subject to temporary time of material nature.
Exactly.
Not situated in the spiritual sky in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna exists in the four-handed Narayan form.
Yeah.
When ordinary men cannot see the universal form, Krishna provided the vision, divine vision to Arjuna to be able to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's very nice. This is a temporary form coming under the time, and Krishna's eternal forms are beyond the realm of time. Again,
also one needs Krishna's benediction to see the universal.
Yes.
Not just the universal, everyone needs Krishna's benediction to see him in any form.
No, you're right. I think Sundar Gopal Prabhu mentioned as a third point that you need Krishna's special sort of blessings there. Good. Kalosmi lokachakrat pravradho. Again, it says define the phrases. I've just got translation of this many times. So I'm still thinking whether to deduct or not deduct, but it says define the phrase, not translate the phrase. But next time, please take it as definition. I have to write when this sort of question comes. Okay, so Kalosmi lokachakrat pravradho. I think everyone knows this one. Any confusions? Okay, if you have confusion, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on because let's spend time in revision because most of you have done this question correctly. Nimit matram bhav savesachi. You know that. Please raise your hand or unmute yourself if you have to say something or there's some confusion. Tesham ahusam dharta mrityu sansar. Beautiful verse. You should remember it. Rupam Prabhuji, maybe you can have your verse list ready. After this, we will do the key verses in your list plus some other verses as well. 5 quality, that's pretty straightforward. Everyone has done it. Okay, so that's done. That was very quick. Anyone have any questions on this assignment part?
Prabhu, so that one question, the Parabrahma one, I've just written one the first one, Parabrahma. I didn't mention the other 5.
Yes, Mataji.
So do we fix it now?
No, don't fix it. No, that's fine, Mataji. That's fine. We are discussing it, so that's good enough. So I understand many people could not get the question. I understand that, and that's why I explained. Because it's not lack of knowledge. The verse is right in front of everyone. It's not lack of knowledge. But I think they thought that's the word is enough. So we have already discussed it. But clearly ask what I get it. Which phrase in text 12 proves that supreme is different? So which phrase? I would pick up 6 phrases actually.
Because it said which phrase, it didn't say which phrases. I think that's
Okay.
where the confusion came
Okay,
from.
no problem. All good. It says phrase or phrases, it doesn't matter. But I would pick text 12 as text 12. Pick up and write it. How many differences are there? Okay, no worries. That's again, as I said, it's not about the marks. Marks are very insignificant part. It's about our understanding. Okay, let's move forward because we have a lot of work to do. But I thought I'll just open my Veda base and we'll just go through it because everything is right here. Now we start from chapter 7. Now I want everyone to participate here. Chapter 7 introduction. Who can give? Mohit Prabhuji? Chapter 7 introduction. If someone asks you right on the spot. Everyone, if you don't know, in the meanwhile, get every chapter Sanskrit name as well as English name in your head. You should know all these chapters. Yes, Prabhuji.
In chapter 7, basically Krishna is talking about what's his position and what sort of people come to him, who worship him, and how he revealed to them.
Okay, little more, Prabhuji. In the initial part of 7th chapter, what's the section? And we'll go through it in a minute. Initial part, what you said, Prabhuji, is correct. Maybe you can expand on it. What sort of people come to him? That's correct. We're talking 7:15 onwards. That is correct. Chaturvida Bhajante Mam.
Initially, Krishna talk about himself, like what's his
and
position.
after that, yes, you're right, Prabhuji. Initially, he talks about himself, and then we jump to 7:15. So what happens between 7:4 to 7:13? That's what my question is. 7:4 to 7:13.
He talk about himself like he's a source of different thing, like he's a water, fire, ether. He's a source of them. People
So
can
how he can be experienced in the material nature right in front of our eye is explained between those 2 sections. No? So that is a very, very important section. How many different examples Krishna has given? Anyone remembers in their head?
Almost 10, 15, where
14 elements.
Oh my God, so many answers. So Rasanand Prabhu very confidently said 14. Sakhiradhika Mataji supported 14. Who else is saying 10 to 12?
14
elements are given. Breakdown of 14. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh? So between 8 and 11, Krishna has given 14 examples. So just as a theme, you can remember, you don't have to remember the number. If you can, that's nice. Krishna is explaining himself, how he's present amongst us right now. Some people say, "Na Bhagwan dikhao, show me the God." Here God is saying, here's how I explain, and you can experience me through those things. Okay, 7.1. Who will explain 7.1 in 2 lines? How many stages are presented in verse 7.1? Just tell me the number. How Jiva gets connected to Krishna. There's an order. How many? Someone
6.
said 6. Thank you, Sakhiradhika Mataji. Name, quick name. Read the verse. Verse is in front of you. You don't have to put it in your head.
It is.
Purpose of 7.1 is Maya Asaktamna Padam. That's a purpose statement, right? This is where we have to reach. Our Asakmana right now is not Krishna, maybe a little bit. Our Asakmana is so many different things. So that's the purpose. How do you achieve the purpose? Tat Shruno. Start from hearing. Thank you. Go up.
To know about Krishna.
Yeah, that's fine. So Yatha Gyasyasi, so know about Krishna. So when we hear, what happens? We get Gyan of Krishna. We get knowledge about Krishna. When we get knowledge about Krishna, then what happens?
Free from doubts.
If you go step by step, Mam Samagram, you get more knowledge about Krishna. You start from little knowledge, get more knowledge, and then Ashansham, doubtlessly. So this path is not like you may get success, you may not get success, you may have to be no Ashanshayam, everyone will get success. Then when we got a lot of knowledge, Mam Samagram, what happened?
Ashraya.
You take shelter of Krishna. Huh? So you're moving forward. You don't take shelter of Krishna in the very beginning unless you have knowledge about Krishna. That's why, what is verse 1866 in Bhagavad Gita?
Sarvadharmam.
Fatafat. Yeah, that's fine. So Krishna is talking about taking his shelter. It's spoken in the last of the Bhagavad Gita, not the first of the Bhagavad Gita, right? Because it takes time for a jiva to take shelter. And it says Mat Ashraya. Yogam Yunjan. You take Ashraya of Krishna, then what do? Yunjan means practice. You practice. Now, if you only have, theoretical Bhakti Shastri degree, no application in the life, do you think you can cheat Yamraj? That's what His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj said. He said, just your mere Bhakti Shastri certificate will not save you from Yamraj. Maharaj's statement, you can check it out. So our certificate is not going to save us. What will save us? Practical application of it. So Yunjam word is, Prabhupada writes, practice. We have to practice. I can give a fantastic class, but if I don't apply those principles, or at least try to apply those principles, it's not much use. That jnana is of not much use. And then what will happen? Maya asaktamana. So slowly, with the 6 stages, you will move up. Jnana and Vijnana. We discussed differences here. Anyone remembers?
Knowledge and realized knowledge.
Okay, more. We discussed different meaning of Gyan Vigyan here. So that Gyan Vigyan definition is from 2nd chapter. What's the Gyan Vigyan definition in this 7.2 specifically?
Phenomenal knowledge and numinous knowledge.
Thank you, Mataji. What does phenomenal knowledge mean?
What appears to our eyes.
What?
Exactly. And numinous means?
Spiritual.
What exactly it
That's
is.
right.
What exactly it is. So many times, children see some toy, or mama, I want this toy, that toy. But mama will say, no, it's very dangerous for you. Knife, for example, children may say, oh, knife is a toy. Mama will say, no, but this is not a toy. So what appears to be to our eyes and what actually it is. So many things, Shreyas and Preyas. Seems very nice, very posh, beautiful, good looking, but they appear to be actually, it's a wish inside. Wish, if you, Narottam Das Thakur says, Janiya Shunya Vishukhaino. So this material world seems to be very illusory, very radiant actually, very glamorous. But actually what it is, it's a very illusory world.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Looking at my notes, we also discussed about Jnana being the Ashwarya of, knowledge about the Ashwarya roop of Krishna versus
very nice.
Vigyan is the sweetness about
Madhurya.
Madhurya.
Thank you. Very, very nice. I forgot, but thank you, Prabhuji, for reminding. So Gyan is just about Gyan. Aishwarya. Krishna is great. Yes, Krishna is definitely great, but Krishna is sweet as well. And where do we read Krishna's sweetness? In Bhagavad Gita. Anyone can give one example? Sweetness of Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is like a Tattva Gyan. No, it's a Rasa Gyan as well. Anyone remembers? Sweetness of Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita.
Chapter 9.
Yes, which part? Sorry. Thank you, you're getting there. Anyone can help Rupam Prabhuji?
Raja Vidya.
Not really. We are going 9.2. We have to go more deeper in 9.
927 and 920.
26 as well.
20. Yes.
Patram Pushpam Phalam.
Patram. Yeah, that is the one I meant. Patram Pushpam.
Okay, you said 927.
Sorry, 926. Yeah, and that one, and also the one where he says
29. Samoham Sarvabhuteshu.
Yes.
I love my devotees. And for my devotees, I am partial. Krishna is openly declaring, like, what else sweetness example you want is Khulla saying, I love my devotees. Khulla, open statement to everyone. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur also explains Shipram Bodhi Dharmatma. That is also there. Name Bhakta Pranashati. That example is also of sweetness of Krishna. I love my devotees and I protect my devotees at all cost. Thank you. We are moving forward nicely. 7.3. This is a beautiful verse. Come on. Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Anyone to make any comment on this particular verse? It's a very simple but very beautiful verse. Applicable to this group, for example. 7.3. How it's applicable to this group?
It is very hard to know Krishna.
Shastri out of many people.
Okay, nice. Out of thousands of people, some start doing Bhakti Shastri. And who start Bhakti Shastri? Everyone finishes it by Gopinath's mercy. Okay, good example, Mohit Prabhuji.
Prabhu, in this
Sure.
verse, it is a definition to love Krishna. We all are trying. Krishna is talking about one may endeavor for perfection, and it also tells us that Krishna, like achieving perfection is one thing, but Krishna sees our endeavor, our efforts, and that's what we are trying to do.
Okay. One thing which I can say, a very simple one here. Kashit yatit siddhaya. So you are one of thousands. All of you sitting in this call are one in thousands. So if you ever feel, any discouragement in your life, remember this verse. Actually, I'm in one in the thousand. So never feel ever any discouragement, because Krishna is saying it. Kashit. Now you may not understand Krishna perfectly, but what you are trying, Krishna says, Manushanam sahasreshu Kashit yatati siddha. You have started the journey to understand Krishna. So all glories to all of you, every single one of you. You have started the journey, and Krishna is appreciating, acknowledging that. He's beautifully acknowledging that. So all big clap to all of you. So beautifully starting the journey. Now, second line is Yadatam api siddhanam kaschin mamit tattvatah. So that represents Krishna's understanding is full understanding is very, very rare. So if you don't understand Krishna fully, it's all right. It's all right. But what Prabhupada used to say, do your best. Do your best, sincerely. Okay. There's a lot to say in this verse anyway. 7.4. Anyone knows 7.4 by heart before I click it? You should know. That's a very famous verse. Okay, everyone just looking at me, blank face. Bhumi Rapo Nilo Vayu. What does this verse represent?
It's Prakriti, Prabhuji.
Okay. Which Prakriti we are talking? So there are questions. Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. Which Prakriti is talking?
Apara.
Apara. Material? Yeah. Apara Prakriti is talking, which is the inferior energy. How many types given in the 7.4? I'll hide the verse. You tell me.
8.
8. What are two categories? You have all done it, gross and subtle. Some devotees forgot to write gross and subtle. I've not rejected the mark, but read the question and write it, just gross and subtle. So how many gross elements are given in 7.4?
5.
5. Can someone give the hierarchy of these 5 elements, which is not a Bhakti Shastri, but we have discussed it. 5 elements hierarchy. How do they work in the order and why?
From ether comes the...
Thank you, Prabhuji. From ether comes what?
Sound.
Sound. Thank you. Someone else can say the next element in the hierarchy from ether. Ether is the starting bit. Which rasa ether represents? Which relationship ether represents? Jiva to Lord. Shant. Shant rasa. Okay. From ether goes, next one is, you can read the verse. Actually, it's so simple. Bhumir is one element. Apa is pani, water. Anal is Agni. Vayu is Vayu, obviously. Kham. So Kham. Jai Dharma Prabhu has chosen Kham, which is the lowest in that element, for example, in the hierarchy. So before Kham, what comes? Vayu. What is the extra element in Vayu which does not exist in Kham or ether? Touch. You can experience the Vayu. You cannot see the Vayu. Isn't it? Anal. What is the extra element in Anal? You can see. So one element is increasing. Vayu you cannot see. Anal, Agni you can see. Apa, what's the extra element?
You can drink.
Taste. You can taste it. Bhumi, what's the extra element?
Smell.
Fragrance, huh? So at each step, one element is increasing. If Kham represents Shanta Rasa, Vayu represents Dasya, isn't it? In the logical order.
Yeah.
Anal represents which rasa?
Sakhya.
Sakhya. Apa? Vatsalya. Bhumi actually represents Madhurya. Any example in a Purana where Bhumi represents Madhurya rasa? Everyone knows that one. Bhumi is the wife of Lord, actually. Everyone knows that, right? Bhumi is the wife of Lord, Varaha Dev. Have Bhumi Devi, Narsingh Dev, have, Lakshmi Devi. So all these rasas are very, very sort of logical here. And every step you go forward in this, one experiences increases. Okay.
Prabhu,
And the
sorry,
next-
I didn't understand this, Prabhu. How you related to rasa? I didn't get that.
Okay, so Prabhuji, each element in the Panchatattva represents a relationship with the Lord. So Kham, which only has the element of sound, represents Shant Rasa.
Okay.
Vayu represents one higher, which represents which rasa? Anyone can help? Dasya Rasa. Now, if you see Vayu Putra is who? Hanumanji. He's the best in Dasya Rasa. Huh? So each step, our relationship with the Lord increases. But that's a rasa point of view, but technical point of view, your experience increases. So Kham is only related to sound. Vayu relates with sound plus touch. Anal represents sight as well on top. Apa represents taste on top. Like Anal, you cannot taste. Anyone can taste Anal, Agni? No, Krishna can. In Davagnipan Leela in 10th canto, Krishna has consumed all the fire. We cannot consume. Huh? If our herbal tea is too hot, we cannot consume it. And Bhumi, everyone, when the first rain comes, especially in India, you will experience a very specific smell, fragrance in the Bhumi. Eh? Everyone loves it. Some kids eat mitti in the first rain because the Bhumi smells so nicely. Huh? Anyway, so this is just a side knowledge. Yes, Rupam Prabhuji.
Prabhu, can you please repeat the water and Agni Tattva and which rasa are linked to them?
Prabhu, just go backward, Prabhu. So Dasya, sorry. Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya. You look in the screen, Prabhuji, and Madhurya. Just go backwards. So as the element increases, your relationship to the Lord increases.
Okay. Yes.
Now, certain elements, Man, Buddhi, and Ahankar. Is Ahankar wrong?
No.
Thank you. Can you explain why?
The false ego is the one that tells us that I am this body, and actually our identity, we are not the body, we are the spirit soul, and we are the servant of the Lord. That is our real identity, constitutional position of the Jiva.
So my question is Ahankar wrong? That's my question.
No, the false ego is wrong.
False ego. So ego is not wrong. That's one. Huh? Ego is not wrong. Ego, what is our ego? I'm the son of Krishna. I'm part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is my Bhagwan. Krishna is my father. Like a small child going on the street with the father will have so much strength. But if the father leaves, child will be complete, insecure. Huh? So with the father, you feel so much security. So with Krishna, devotees feel so much security. That's why material insecurity does not threaten a devotee. Material insecurity, which threatens so many people. Oh, job chala gaya. I've lost my job. It's all right. You have some other problems in the physically, some physical problems, some mental problem, relationship problem. But devotees are not threatened by these insecurities because they are not putting their ultimate faith in these relationships. The financial relationship or a physical, emotional relationship. Yeah, they act on it, but they're not putting ultimate faith in that. That's why when they break down, they're okay. No problem. We'll do the best in this situation, and they just move on. So that's a very important to understand this relationship and develop and nurture consciously this relationship. So when the things doesn't work around us, we just see the Prabhupada called it naked reality of the material world. Huh? Prabhupada, the last time established a business, I think I spoke in this class, other classes. Everyone was actually taken away, and Prabhupada was actually laughing at it. He just literally laughed. He said, "Oh, the last bit also Krishna has taken." Very nice, huh? So he wasn't depressed or discouraged. Oh, Krishna, my last savings is gone. He laughed at it, huh? No problem. Krishna wanted to do something else. Okay, let's move forward. Jiva is which prakriti of Krishna? 7.5 talks about which prakriti? Paraprakriti, no? Super energy. Is it the superior most energy of Krishna?
Actually, Tatastha.
Tatastha Shakti is not the superior most. Tatastha, that means Tatastha. They're situated on the Tata, on the bank. They can go on either side. Okay. Okay, we'll leave that. Otherwise, we'll just stay here. Now, 7.8, as we said, how many tattva it represents where you can experience Krishna right in your life? How many tattvas in 7.8?
14.
Huh?
14.
5 elements.
5. Thank you. So, Mohit Prabhuji, what you said is correct, but that's spread over 4 verses. 8, 9, 10, and 11. 14 altogether, and 8 individually represents 5 tattvas. Anyone can identify 5 tattvas? Just
I
name
am
it.
the taste of water,
So, which is the tattva we are talking? Apsu, water. So, we're talking about Apsu here. Next.
light of sun and moon.
Thank you.
Sun
Next.
and moon.
Yep. So sun and moon we can experience with our material eyes. Apsu means water we can experience, we can taste. Pranava sarva Vedeshu.
Omkar.
Omkar of all the Vedas. What does Omkar represents? We've discussed about it.
Impersonal sound of Krishna.
Impersonal aspect of Krishna, you can say. So sound representation of the impersonal aspect of Krishna. So Krishna in his impersonal form is represented by the sound called Omkar, which is very powerful, very, very powerful. And it says, Pranama Sarva Vedeshu, I am Pranam, I am Om, but it's the impersonal aspect. It's like calling Narendra Modi by his mother, for example. Oh, Pradhan Mantri ji, come here, have your meal. If a mother calls a child like that, how a child will feel? Pradhan Mantri ji, COE ji, Finance Minister ji, come. He will say, Mama, what happened to you? He will not like. Mama, she will, Kanu, come here. Khana khalo. Then you will love it. My mom is calling me. So it's an impersonal address that may be correct, no doubt about it, but that's not what Krishna loves or devotees love. Okay, move forward. Now you have read 13. Okay. It's a nice verse. What does 13 verse represents? Who is not speaking? I want everyone to participate. Satyavama Mataji speaking. 7:13.
So 7:13.
In one line, if you have to say, what does 7:13 represent? 1 or 2 lines.
Just one moment.
No problem. No problem.
So Tribhir Guna Mayer Bhave. So this is talking about 3 modes of nature, 3 modes of material nature, mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So Krishna is above the modes of material nature.
That's the crux of the verse. Krishna is not under the modes of material nature. He is above the modes of material nature. Mam ebhya param abhyam. People don't. Mohit Prabhuji is here. Mohitam na vijanati. Now, this Mohit Prabhu knows Krishna. But generally, people do not know Krishna because they are deluded. Abhijananti, jananti, abhijananti, avajananti, ajananti. Can anyone explain all these 4 terms quickly? Rupam Prabhu is smilingly ready to jump.
Prabhu, I vaguely remember we discussed this heavily. So I'm
Okay. Jananti. Anyone?
Knowing.
Ajananti. Avajananti.
To know it in a wrong way.
Exactly. So thinking I know, but know exactly in a different way than what it is. Like I can call a spacecraft is made up of aluminum foil. You'll ask me a question. Prabhu, you know a spacecraft is made up of what? I know, aluminum foil. Now you can laugh at it, but I think I know, but I know exactly opposite than what it is. Yeah. So that's called avajananti. There are many avajananti people around the world who claim to know Krishna, but they don't know much about Krishna. So Mohitam na abhijananti. Okay, move on. 7:14, one of the most famous verses of Bhagavad Gita. Rupam Prabhu, if it is not in your list, please add in your personal list. Gopal Prabhu saying it is there. Thank you. If not, please add it. What does this verse represent? The first 2 lines represent what? Just the first 2 lines.
Maya is very difficult to overcome, and
So Prabhu, Devi Hesha Gunamai means these all divine energies are mine. Devi Hesha Gunamai, the three modes of material nature are all mine. And Mama Maya Duratyaya, very difficult to overcome. Duratyaya means which is difficult to overcome.
And Mama Maya.
Ye prapadyante.
Yeah, we'll come to it, Mataji. 1 second.
One who prapadyante means surrender to me.
Yes.
So the one who surrender to me, mayam etam tarantite. So that person will overcome this illusory energy.
Thank you, Mata. So let's go back to the first two lines. We haven't finished. So Mama Maya. Mama Maya means Meri Maya. So what does this represent here?
Mahamaya.
Mahamaya. Okay. So how many different types of Mayas we read? Just on a high level, I'm talking. The details are quite complex. Mahamaya and Yogamaya. Which verse in Bhagavad Gita represents Yogamaya? This Mahamaya verse, that's fine. Jaldi, jaldi. Mohit Prabhu, ready? You're speaking in a mute way.
9:13.
Thank you. Verse Mahatma Nastu Mam Partha Devim Prakriti Mashritaha. That's the only verse in Bhagavad Gita which represent
Yogamaya.
Srimati Radharani.
Subhadra, yeah.
Srimati Radharani. So that's the only, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that's the only verse in Bhagavad Gita which Prabhupada has written as well. Represents Srimati. There's only one verse in Bhagavad Gita which indirectly represents Srimati Radharani, 9:13. Devi word is used in both places, but both places Devi word represents a different person here. Okay. Or I should say, same person, different representation. It says Maya is same in spiritual world, it acts differently. In material world, it acts differently. Anyone remembers example of Prabhupada saying this? He gave an example of electricity. When you plug a fridge in that same electricity socket, the fridge cools the things. If you plug a heater, same electricity will give you heat. So electricity is same, the usage is different depending on which instrument you plug in that plug. Okay. And as Satyabhama Mataji said, Maya mam evya prapadyante, if you surrender to Lord. Which example we have discussed here? Anyone remembers? A simple example which we have discussed. One who surrenders to Krishna.
Atan Goswami surrender.
More Mataji? I can't remember. That may be there. Mataji, I don't remember. Please elaborate.
Yeah, it was like we discussed about that surrender means harmonizing to the will of the Lord.
Yep.
And Sanatan Goswami did that. I just remember vaguely.
Okay. That may be there, Mataji. I don't remember. Anyone else remember a simple example which we discussed?
So Brahma and Shiva.
The dog is controlled by the owner.
Dog. Thank you, Mata. Brahma and Shiva, I don't remember again. Sanatan Goswami, I don't remember. And maybe we have discussed. Dog. What's the quality of a dog? Very loyal to the owner. So the example given, this is by Sri Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji. He said, when you go to your friend's place, he has a big dog and you're on the gate and dog is barking at you. And you call, Mr. Sharma, please come. If you tell dog, stop barking, will the dog stop barking? No, dog will not stop barking. But if you call the owner of the dog, say Mr. Sharma, when Mr. Sharma say, hey, Tommy, come, then Tommy will just go away. So who is Mr. Sharma here?
Krishna.
And who is this dog here?
Maya.
And who are you? You are you. Jiva. So if this Jiva goes to this open field where a dog is there and dog is very dangerous, he will not listen you. Maya is very, very powerful, very, very powerful. But she can listen to Krishna. So you approach to Krishna and then he will tell Maya Devi to not further test this Jiva. Okay. Thank you. 7:15. Who knows 7:15? Very famous verse. Can anyone tell 7:15? It's not a tough question.
In a nutshell, it talks about those who don't surrender to Krishna.
Okay. I wanted the verse as well, but anyway, that's fine. Examples quickly. Dushkritana, Sukritana. People have done the question. That's fine.
Bharat Maharaj.
Wow. What's the example?
I didn't write down that much detail.
Okay, that's fine. We would have discussed. That's fine. Mudha. What does Mudha mean?
Donkey.
Prabhupada says Gada.
Yeah.
Donkey. So what does Mudha mean basically? Donkey is
Foolish
a
person.
Those who
means
work
what?
hard without getting any result.
Lazy.
Yes. So we all jivas work very, very hard in the material, but thinking our hard work will give us the bread. That's not the case. Prabhupada said bread is available, the food is available. Krishna is giving food to even those who does not worship Krishna. If you worship Krishna, you get some prasadam, that's fine. But who are not worshipping Krishna, they're also getting prasadam. Different shapes and form, but they also get, so Krishna loves all the jivas. But that's not the point. The Prabhupada called Mudha, just don't work for the bread. Naradhama, anyone remembers the example of Naradham?
Jagai Matai.
Jagai Matai, thank you very much. Maya Pratyana, a category here. Prabhupada writes a category.
Philosophers and poets.
Scientists and philosophers. Why they are under this category?
Because they are atheists.
Little bit more, Prabhuji.
And they may be socially advanced and cultured, but they do not follow any regulatory principles.
Exactly. They may be socially very advanced, very intellectual, and their IQ may be around 200 or something. It's called Maya Aparat. Aparat means Apharan, kidnap. Maya has kidnapped the Jnana, the real Jnana of that Jiva. Jiva thinks, I am great. I'm a scientist. I'm a Nobel Prize. And these village people of Vrindavan, who are they? Maya Pratyan. Asram Bhavamashitaha? Complete atheist.
Yeah.
In the
Sakiratka Mataji, can you speak little loudly?
Have taken shelter in the Asur Bhav.
Asur Bhava means their agenda is to propagate against God. That's their agenda. Example in Shastra?
Hiranyakashipu.
Thank you. मैं विष्णु को मार दूंगा. I will kill Vishnu. Wow, what a proposal. Just think about the proposal. I will kill Vishnu. Today or tomorrow, definitely I'll kill Vishnu. So they are Asram Bhavamashita. Thank you, everyone. 16 examples. Artho, example. Someone has written in the answer. Very nice. So someone has.
Gajendra.
Yes, Gajendra. Thank you.
Draupadi.
Draupadi.
Okay, good, very good. Jigyasu.
Curious stages of Naimishan.
Thank you, Mataji. Artharthi. Thank you. And all of us. We are all mixed. We are Artho, some Artharthi, some Jigyasu. We're all mixed up. Except some Gyanis are there in this call as well. Some pure devotees are there. Gyani.
Sukhdev Goswami.
Thank you. We remember everything. That's nice. Okay. 17. This is a question of assignment. I'm remembering. So whom Krishna loves, he loves everyone, but he loves the most is Tesham Gyani Nityayukta. Because when you approach Krishna for this purpose, he is very pleased. 7:18. Udara means? Anyone remember the meaning of Udara? Oh, means magnanimous. What does it mean?
Broad-minded.
Open.
Broad-minded.
Broad-minded, yes. More?
Hungry for love.
Hungry for love. Thank you. And who has put this word here? Thank you. And who is hungry here? Who is hungry? Krishna is hungry. That's a beautiful statement. Krishna is hungry for love of his children, lost children. So whenever a children in either situation, Artho, Jigyasu, or Tharthi goes to the Lord and say, Lord, give me money, give me health, give me this and that. Lord says, no problem, beta. You have come to me. Mother and father are so happy, isn't it? When the child has just come back, even he's asking, Papa, paise de do. Mama, gaadi de do. And this and that. But father is very happy. Thank you. I think we will just do one chapter today. Anyway, it's good. Verse 19. Question. Verse 19 is the only verse in Bhagavad Gita which represents a very specific thing. What is that specific thing? So my question is not.
It's a verse.
Devotional service.
It's a verse to
Verse to remember. Prabhu is thinking about exam. I'm not. Anyway, Mohit Prabhuji, you said something?
Devotional service.
Little bit more.
It is very rare. Devotional service is very rare, and
Very
it
rare.
ultimately leads to bhakti.
Yes.
Vasudeva is the
Mataji,
cause
what you
of
have
cause.
said, Just can you expand it more and give a more technical term there? You have sort of said half thing. This is the
Krishna
only
is
verse in
everything.
Bhagavad Gita which represents a specific thing.
Durlabha, Sudurlabha is the word that is used.
Definitely, Mataji. Definitely. Mahatma Sudurlabha. The bhakta is very, very rare. No doubt.
So Vasudeva Sarvam Iti.
What does it mean, Mataji?
So
Full knowledge implies to know Vasudev. He is the cause of all causes.
He's cause of source. So he is everything, right? My table is Vasudev, my computer is Vasudev, my headphone is Vasudev. Is that right? No,
Yeah, no,
Jagrati Mataji, no. Why?
No.
Why?
in this verse, it is mentioned that, no matter how many births and deaths you go through those cycles, but the ultimate goal of life is the ultimate reason for us to take all the janmas is Vasudev only. And the one who understands this is the Mahatma, rest everything is the one, and that person is very rare.
Okay, good explanation. Nice.
There is no reality beyond Krishna.
No reality beyond Krishna. Okay, there are a couple of things which has happened. Let me just... Sorry, Rasanand Prabhuji.
Talking about Kevala Bhakti, Prabhu, pure Bhakti.
Kevala Bhakti, okay, nice. Okay.
And material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world.
Wow, you've gone to 15th chapter. Already started reading Purushottam Yoga. Purushottam Mas Parso aa raha hai. Mataji already started explaining. Okay, that's nice. Okay, let me just summarize it. All the answers are correct. They're not incorrect. So, two things. This is the only verse in Bhagavad Gita which is for coming from Gyanis to Bhakta. So Gyanis, Bahunam Jananamante, they are doing so much practice in birth after birth, but they come to the conclusion that Bhakti is everything. So this verse represents that. It's very important. This is sort of the pinnacle verse for the Gyanis, because they will get real Jnana when Bahunam Jananamante. And finally they say, Acha bhai, Vasudev is everything. Now, Vasudev Sarvamiti, what does it mean? Vasudev's energies are everywhere. My computer is Vasudev's energy. But Vasudev is just not reduced to my computer. Vasudev is everywhere. We agree. But Vasudev is just cannot be reduced to one computer. Example, when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, do you see your Vishnu in the pillar? What the answer was? Yes, sure. And he was not lying or saying a theory. Yes. But can you today onwards start worshipping that pillar? So pillar is a worshipable object because Nrsimhadev appeared from there, but it is not the ultimate object of your worship. So everything is an energy of Vasudev. It does not mean you can worship anything and everything with the same mentality. When there's a deity of Radha Gopinath, you worship it differently than what you respect Radha Gopinath's, washing machine, for example. You respect it. But the ultimate object of worship is not the washing machine of Radha Gopinath, it is the Radha Gopinath. So that point we have to understand correctly. Vasudev is the one which needs to be ultimately worshipped and loved. Okay, you're going good. 720. What does this verse references to?
Who surrenders to demigods. So.
Thank you. So this is a demigod sort of sections coming. Who surrenders? What's the answer? Hrit Jnana.
Those whose knowledge is kidnapped by Maya.
Thank you, Mataji. Kama represents our material desires. So who have a lot of material desires and their consciousness has been abducted by these material desires, they go and prapadyante. They also, prapadyante word is used where else in Bhagavad Gita in this chapter?
7.14.
Verse?
7.14. 7.1.
Verse? So mam ev prapadyante, and here is saying demigod prapadyante. So prapadyante is there in both. So you surrender to demigod or to Krishna. So if surrender hi karna hai to Bhagwan ko karo na. You have to surrender, right? Surrender to demigods or Bhagwan. Do Bhagwan. Okay.
Prabhu, prapadyante and prapadyate mein kya farak hai?
Same. You're surrendering. 21. Okay, this is Krishna's generosity. That's fine. 23. Yeah, 23 is also one of the Antavattu Phala Tesham. So what does it represent? The phala which demigods provide are Antavattu. They are temporary. Why the phala is temporary of the demigods? Why?
Demigods are temporary.
Because they themselves are temporary.
Because they have to ask Krishna for the approval.
So what they get is temporary. So they can only, like their car is a rental car. right? And then they sublet you the car. So can they give you the car permanently? They can't, because they don't own the car. Uska bhi malik hai. There is some other owner. So there are two layers here. Huh? People sublet. But when you're subletting, you're not the owner. Huh? You can sublet for a while. Okay. Alpa Medasam. So Alpa Medasam means Choti Buddhi, small intelligence. Meda is not too much. 724. Which section it represents? Jamvati Mataji. Section. (24, 25, 26) represents which section?
Impersonalist.
Thank you. Kya baat hai? Kya baat hai? Words dekhte hi, people know the answer. I'm so happy. Impersonalist. Now, what does it say here? First line.
Sorry.
Anyone can say, it's okay. Avyaktam. Avyaktam is?
Due to the small knowledge, they don't know my higher nature.
But actually, Krishna says, not a small. 0.
Impersonal is unintelligent, yes.
Abuddhya, right? If you read the Sanskrit word, now Prabhupada is very kind, but if you read the Sanskrit word, it says Abuddhya. Previously, it says Alpa Buddhya. So if you go to demigod, Krishna says you are Alpa Buddhi. When you become a Mayavad, what Krishna says? Abuddhi. So you can just see Krishna's words here. It's not like Prabhupada is very nicely writing, actually. He's saying, I think, due to their small knowledge. So Prabhupada is being very respectful. You understand? So Abuddhi and Alpa Buddhi. So at least become Alpa Buddhi, don't become Abuddhi. That's what Krishna is saying. Okay, 25. Beautiful verse. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. Which example from scripture we can pick for the first line of this verse? Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yog Maya Samamprita. Anyone can give example of a person, of a scenario in
The sun and
Shastra?
the cloud.
Pandavas.
Okay, many people are saying, Charumataji, Pandavas, yes, can you expand?
Pandavas, Bhishma.
Never manifested foolish.
More?
And
Ujjwala Samataji, you are saying something?
The sun and the cloud.
No, that's a philosophy. That's right.
internal
The
potential,
cloud
and
cannot
therefore-
cover the sun. That is
And
true.
therefore, they do not.
Shishupal did not recognize Krishna in the assembly.
Okay, more. Keep going on that line, you'll get it. Duryodhan could not understand Krishna. When Krishna was showing the Virata Rupa, Duryodhan said, he's just a magician. So that shows Krishna is not bound to manifest himself anywhere and everywhere. So whoever do not believe in God, Krishna said, no problem, I don't need your certificate. So when Duryodhan said Krishna is not God, he's just a Mayavi, he's just a magician, Krishna didn't say, nahi, you know what? Actually, I am God. Don't you recognize? I can show you some more magic tricks, this and that. No, Krishna said, all right, no problem. So many people who do not believe, it's a rule of book distribution, do not overspend time with those people who do not believe in God. Move on to the next person. You'll find 10 nice people who will take the book rather than spending one person, 10 hours and trying to make him understand, because Naham Prakasha Sarvasya, Krishna is not going to manifest to everyone. He will manifest to the suitable people. Like example comes to my mind, Maharaj Rahugan and Jad Bharat. Jad Bharat did not give instruction to anyone in his whole life. He only gave one instruction written in Bhagavatam, which is to Rahugan Maharaj. Why? He was the right recipient of the knowledge. So when Krishna do not disclose himself, it's fine. This is how it is. Krishna is saying, you cannot demand Krishna that please reveal yourself to me. When he's kind enough, he will. Vedaham, yes. This verse.
So yes, in the previous verse also, Yogamaya is there.
Yes. Yes. So now, Yogamaya Samartha, yes. And there's also a parallel to this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Rasanand Prabhuji, thank you for reminding. Kunti Maharani prayer, second verse. Anyone remembers the second verse of Kunti Maharani prayers? Maya Javnika Chandam, Agya Doksham Agyam. So that verse is also there. So Krishna has put himself behind the curtain, but curtain is on the Jiva rather than on Krishna, as someone says cloud and sun example. We say sun is covered by clouds. Actually, that's not the case. Sun cannot be covered by clouds. We are covered by clouds, but we cannot see the sun. So we say, oh, aaj badal hai. There's so many clouds in the sky.
The Ishopnishad also, mantra 15.
Thank you, 15. Yes.
Yeah, 15.
Hiranyamena Patrena.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. See, Nice, huh? Bhagavatam, Ishopanishad, Bhagavad Gita coming out now. I love this session. Thank you. 726 ho gaya. 727. What aspect of Jiva and Krishna's relationship does 27 represent? Anyone? Now, my question may not be absolutely correct because I haven't thought about these things earlier. I'm just saying on the spot. So this verse represent a relationship between Jiva and Krishna. Everyone knows this verse, right? Actually, I was doing 26. Somehow I pressed 27. Vedaham samtitani vartamanani sharjun bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedna kashan.
So when one is controlled by illusory energy, they cannot understand Krishna. And
yes,
when anyone who can overcome the delusion, they can recognize Krishna's supremacy and then can become a devotee. So it's the duality of our nature. So desire and hatred that causes
that
this.
is correct. I think that's the next verse, Mataji. Ichhadvaya samutena. That's correct. 26. Can anyone shed some light on this verse? I don't know
Krishna knows everything about past, present, and future, but Jiva don't know.
But no one knows Krishna. Yes. So this leads to which aspect?
4.9.
Bhagwan aspect of
4.9.
Okay. Janakam chame divyam evam vetita tataha. More? Anyone else? That's a good relation.
So this verse talks about the Bhagwan aspect of Krishna.
One aspect of Krishna. Okay. More?
Because Krishna is transcendental, because he is not materially bound. So he knows past, present, and future.
Absolutely correct. All these answers are correct. Some more relationship between Jiva and Krishna.
Krishna only reveals what he wants to reveal. So the devotees will know him up to the point where Krishna reveals.
How does that relate to this verse, Mataji? So this is talking about Krishna's sort of supremacy, where Krishna knows past, present, and future.
Because it says that me no one knows. So
yeah, Mam tu vedna kashan.
Yeah, we don't know him, but only we can know him to the point where he will reveal.
Yeah, that's later. That's later.
Krishna only remembers me.
The past lives.
Yes, Krishna remembers everything. What else?
Could you please repeat the question again?
Okay. This verse represents a beautiful relationship between Krishna and Jiva. Can anyone sort of try to understand or that relationship?
He is the super soul who
is it the
comes
fact that
with living entity in all the lives.
Jai Dharma Prabhu is sort of right, super soul.
Krishna is personal in nature. And
Krishna is personal in nature. Krishna is very, very personal. He knows every jiva's every fault and all the good things as well. So many times, we have some bad and we have some good, right? So some good qualities which may not express ourselves or may not act properly, but Krishna knows that. So Krishna knows every single desire of each jiva from past, present, and future. So that makes you sort of little, when you go in front of Krishna, a bit embarrassing as well, isn't it? That Krishna knows all your faults from the past as well as secure. Why? He is my supreme father all the time, not in this birth. Now, today you are born in, Ambani or Birla or somewhere. Yeah, I have, 40,000 crores in my account. Very secure father and mother and all that. But what happens when I die? This father is Lakshmi Pati. Radhesham Prabhu says someone is Lakpati, someone is Karonpati, but Krishna is Lakshmi Pati. Go to Lakshmi Pati. Don't worry about Karonpati and Lakpati. Go to Lakshmi Pati. He is Lakshmi Pati, huh? So Krishna is a very secure father, huh? And you have no other choice as well. He is your only father. So the jiva feels very secure. At the same time, you can feel embarrassed as well. But the good point is our father is so kind. You don't remember your previous birth, isn't it? All the embarrassments you remember is only of this birth. Imagine if you remembered all the faults or sins or aparadh you have done in the past, but if you remember, Maharaj said you cannot actually live. Your mind will explode and you will die. So Krishna is so kind. You have done, say, unlimited sinful activities in the past. You don't remember. And you say, actually, I'm a great devotee. When you walk in and you expect some sort of stuti. You're talking about Ninda, Stuti, Man and Apman. Anyone remembers the difference between Man, Apman, Ninda, Stuti? Ragvi Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Maybe Ragvi Mataji can explain? No? No. Okay. Tanya Mataji? Ninda, Stuti, Man, Apman. We discussed probably last class or last to last class. I can't remember. We'll come to you, Akhand Rasa Prabhu. We'll come to you. I know you know the answer. I want everyone to remember because we feel this is our day-to-day life. I feel Man, I feel Apman. But actually, you look behind the scenes, so much Man, Apman has happened. Ninda, Stuti has happened. Okay, Rupam Prabhuji, you can answer.
Yes, Prabhu. Ninda and Stuti, sorry, Man and Apman is at an ego level. So when someone talks good about ourselves, we feel good, whereas the opposite also. And in both ways, we can be, we can deviate. One of the things that we were discussing last time was it's easy to absorb Apman, but it can be difficult. But it is even further difficult to absorb Man because later on it backfires. So it's at an ego level, Man, Apman. Ninda, Stuti, I think Prabhu discussed it's at a bodily level.
No. You're right, Prabhuji.
I think, Prabhu, I think you told Ninda Stuti is someone else is telling us. Man Apman is what we feel when.
Thank you. So I may feel Apman, even if someone is doing Man to me, or I may feel Apman. I am the emperor of the whole world. You only offered me one rose. You should offer me a bunch of roses. I feel Apman, although that person is doing Man to me. Man Apman is what I feel in my mind. And Ninda is what others do. Now, many times, say a Maharaj is getting a criticism, Ninda from someone. Does Maharaj feel Apman? Any Maharaj or any senior devotee. They don't feel Apman actually. If someone is doing Ninda, oh, you are rascal, you are bad, this and that. And we hear many incidents like that. Maharajas don't feel Apman. But for us, even if someone doing Man, we may feel, Arey, mera Apman kar diya? Someone insulted me? And Bhai Sahab, I didn't mean like, no, you have offended me. So Man, Apman is what we feel, Ninda, Stuti, what others do. Now, someone can do Ninda and I can feel actually Man. I'll give you one example of Amrendra Prabhuji. He was saying, if someone criticizes you, say, you have fault 1, 2, and 3. So Amrendra Prabhuji said, thank you, Prabhuji, you only mentioned 3 of my faults. I have 50 others. Thank you for doing Man to me. That's Amrendra Prabhu speaking. You think I only have 3 faults? Prabhu, actually, I have 50. So thank you for doing, respect to me. You only disclosed 3 of my faults. So this is how the perception of, big devotees. So they don't feel Apaman when someone is criticizing them. But we feel Apaman and Man. Okay, anyway, I don't know how I went there. So beautiful relationship of Krishna is mentioned in verse 26. 28, I love this verse. Please put in your personal list if it's not in MIG list. What theme this verse represents? Charu Mataji.
So it tells you about the what qualifications a devotee has.
Yes.
For devotional service.
For devotional service in a long run. In a long run. That's very important. It says, Bhajante mam dradhavrataha. So bhajan can be done even by a person who's on the Harinam. Many drunkards join you, say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They're drinking alcohol and they're dancing with the Harinam party, right? Are they doing some Sukrati? Yes. But are they doing Dradhavrata bhajan? No. Even we are not able to do Dradhavrata bhajan. We do some bhajan here and there. But who is able to do Dradhavrata? Yesham Twantagatam Papam and Jananam Punya Karmanam. So this verse represents what it needs to do bhajan with Dradhata, with determination, with Nischay. I will worship Krishna no matter what. And we see that Dradhata in many advanced devotees, the death is coming, they know death is coming, but they are doing their bhajan. Not even a single painkiller has been taken. Death is right in front of them. That is called Dradhavrata.
Your Guru Maharaj. Your Guru Maharaj is a classic example.
And for us, a little flu, Prabhu, I'm sick today, Prabhu. How can I do this job? I am sick. Don't you see I'm sick? I'm sneezing today. Okay, what can we say, huh? So this dradhata, determination is little bit lacking at this stage, huh? And the reason being first two lines, huh? And we are all in the moha. Okay, thank you. How was this revision of first chapter? I wish, we are all in the same room and then we can, talk more interactively. I like that. Anyway, no problem. Chapter 8. Who can give me a theme of chapter 8? Quick one-liner.
How to die.
How to die? Everyone will die. What's
How
the
to
big deal?
die remembering Krishna. That's what I mean.
How should we die? Thank you, Mother. Sorry, I was just
Go
kidding.
back to Godhead.
Go back to Godhead. Jai Ho. They're not talking about dying, they're talking about back to Godhead. Devotees don't live in the ground. Good, thank you. Prabhupada actually said, Jamati Mataji, as she was saying, everyone will die, but we should learn how to die. Huh? So thank you, Mata. So death is not a big deal. Everyone will die. How to die. So this chapter sort of tells us how to die.
And
what
also
happens?
talks about Yoga Mishra.
Jai, see, all the technical aspects are also coming.
Shuddha Bhakti Yoga Mishra Bhakti.
Wow. Thank you, Mataji. Let's see. So how many questions Arjun is asking in these two verses? First and two. 8 questions. Arjun is asking 8 questions. Huh? I think it's 5 plus 3, and I may be wrong, but you can have a look. No problem. We don't have to remember numbers there. And Krishna answers, 7 questions quite quickly, and 8.5 onwards, he only said one answer, which is Antakaleshu mam eva ismaranukta kareva. So how to die, basically. The whole chapter talks about that theme here and there a little bit. 8.5, which theme it represents? I don't want translation of the verse. Everyone knows the verse. Which theme it represents?
How to remember at the time of death. That's what I've written in my notes, Prabhu. How to remember at the time of death.
How to remember what? Remember
Krishna.
what?
Krishna.
How to remember Krishna. So basically, if you remember Krishna at the time of death, specifically, then what happens? Madbhavam. So he will achieve my nature, Madbhavam. Now, if you don't remember Krishna, you'll remember something else. There's 2 options, like Krishna or non-Krishna. So 8.6 gives you that general theme here. So 8.5 very specific, 8.6 is general, which applies on most of us. Yam yam vapi. So whatever you remember, that bhava you achieve. That's quite simple, but very important. Any example in Shastra of yam yam vapi 8.6?
Bharat Maharaj.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Bharat Maharaj. So any other example? Is a famous one. 5th canto. Anyone else remember in Bhagavatam? 4th canto. Ajamil did not take rebirth in Bhagavatam, at least.
No, not for remembering Krishna to save. For rebirth is Bharat Maharaj. And
yeah, so rebirth. One more example from Bhagavatam. Charumata. Bhagavatam expert.
I don't remember, and I'm not an expert.
Sakir, no, you remember quite a bit. Sakir Mataji. Rasanand Prabhu. Second example, rebirth of a person who remembered something else and he took that. Bhagavatam example I'm saying, not non-Bhagavatam. Katwang, no rebirth. Katwang went back to Godhead. Ajamil went back to Godhead. Bharat Maharaj, absolutely correct. So usually we give only one example and we forget other examples. So I want everyone to remember the second example. Tanya Mataji. Second example in Bhagavatam of rebirth. 4th canto, I give you a clue. 4th canto. So 5th canto is Bharat Maharaj, 4th canto. Puranjan became Puranjani. So Puranjan Upakhyan is there in 4th canto. You can read about it, and there's a whole lot of chapters. Beautiful. Became Puranjani. Puranjani means a female in next birth. A human, but female. And then she got married to a king, Malay Dhwaj. Okay. That's a side thing. Okay, let's move forward. 8.7. Yeah, beautiful verse. This is a very, very nice verse. And I think Ujjwala Samataji asked a question yesterday as well, so I said, given the class. So what's the theme of 8.7? Theme.
Always think of me in the form of Krishna.
That's half of it. Prabhu, I'm a working man. I have a grahasti. I have kids. You sit in the temple whole day. I don't. Mohit Prabhu. I can't.
Are you saying that always remember Krishna and we have to do our duty?
That's right. So you don't have to quit your duties. Huh? So no one is saying to leave job, shave your head and wear, saffron, then only you can remember Krishna. No, Krishna says, Sarveshu Kaleshu Manusmar, Yuddhacha, Yuddha karo. And what is our Yuddha?
Prescribed duties.
Our prescribed duties. So we may be a housewife, house husband, or working man, working lady, whatever it is. So your Yuddha will be your prescribed duty. So you're recommended to do your duty. Huh? So Krishna is not saying, Arjun, you go to jungle and then remember me. So very important point for preaching purposes. Huh? Anyone, said, Are Prabhuji, you are a devotee, I am not. Krishna, I have a job, I have a mortgage, I have 3 kids, and I have old parents. No problem. Arjuna was fighting on the battlefield. Krishna is saying, what does Anu mean? That was a question of Ujjwala Samataji. Anu mean, everyone else can help? Akhandasa Prabhuji?
Deep. Anu, anything, prefix Anu means deep.
Thank you. More? Deep is correct. More?
More. Follower.
Following? Yep.
Following.
Following in what nature, Mataji, Charu Mataji? Following is correct.
So the prayers, like we are followers.
So Shastra Chakshu, that is called Anu. So you not only look at the things from your physical vision, you look it through Shastra Chakshu. Huh? More? Anu mean, Tanya Mataji, Anu mean?
Atom.
Not that Anu. That is Anu. I'm asking
I was
Anu.
gonna say small, but yeah, I don't think it's that.
No, that's not. So Anu as a prefix, I'm talking. Huh? Anu as a prefix. So Anu Darshan, Anu Smaran, Anurag,
Anudvega.
Anudvega Karam Vakyam, 17th chapter. Thank you, Mata. We're coming to it. Sabko sab kuch pata hai. I'm so happy. I love this actually. More and more discussions like that. So, Ujjwala Samataji, Anu ka matlab, you tell me, third meaning of Anu.
Constantly.
Constant, again and again. So Anu also means, Anu means again and again, not that I've done Bhakti Shastri, in 2023 or 24, and that's it. No, this Bhakti Shastri means relationship with Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, has to be constant. Abhikshan Shaha, Kunti Maharani says that. And all, Anu mean, fourth meaning of Anu. Vinay Saha Prabhu will tell. He's smiling.
Dhai tava pache pache.
Dhai tava pache pache. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So following the footsteps of Vaishnava. So actually he's right. Anugatya bhav mein, in the Sanskrit, Anugatya means following in the footsteps of Vaishnavas. Huh? So Anugatya bhav mein karna. So when we are doing something, a devotional service, that should be in a subordinate bhava. Not that, see, I'm so good. You see, you heard my class, you heard my kirtan, you saw how I decorated the deities. That is not Anugatya bhav. Anugatya bhav means following the footsteps of the Acharya. Huh? And if someone praises you, thank you. I have learned from my seniors, from my Guru Maharaj, from other devotees, and I tried to do the same. Huh? That is called Anugatya bhav. Huh? So, where is not Charu Mata? Ujjwala Samata, you got 4 meanings of Anu, and then you can put in
I was
each word.
asking about Anuchintayan and Parichintayan.
Yes, I'm just on Anu at the moment, Mata. I've not gone to the second one. Is Anu clear?
Yeah.
So Anuchintan has to be done in these 4 aspects, or at least one of them or multiple of them, right? Now, Pari refers to what? Anyone give example of, so one example of Parichintayan, any other example in Bhagavad Gita of Pari as a suffix? Sorry, as a prefix.
Pari upasate.
Pari upasate, thank you. More examples?
Pariprashne.
Pariprashne. Okay, more examples?
Parikar.
Parikar, thank you, associates. Or?
Parityagi.
Parityaja, 1866. So, Ujjwala Samata, you got 4 examples of Pari. In all 4, Pari refers to one thing only. Now, Anu, as I said, and we discussed, have different meanings. And one more thing, the meanings of these Sanskrit words cannot be frozen. So we cannot just write at once and say, this is the meaning. That is called one meaning. These meanings of Sanskrit words changes from the context perspective. And that's why it's very hard to just say, that's the meaning. Huh? Pari, on the other side, actually have one meaning, completely giving up, for example. Huh? Parityaja. Parityaja means Sarva Dharmanu Parityaja. Sab kuch puri tarah chhod do, complete renunciation from those things. That is called Pari. Huh? that's the difference between Pari and Anu.
Who in chapter in 12.17, it is Parityagi. What is the difference between Parityagi and Paritajya? Same?
Same. Giving up, completely giving up. Not just a show off. That I wear, a saffron cloth, but my mind is mithyachari satyache. So my mind is still remembering the sense objects and how I can enjoy. That's not parityagya. So parityag means complete surrender, like Arjun did. Parityag. Arjun did not bother about his Kshatriya dharma, his Kul dharma, his family dharma. He said, Karishya vachanam tava. I will do what you tell me to do. That is called full surrender. Draupadi completely surrendered to Krishna. Like initially, she was not fully surrendered. She was holding sari with the teeth, it says, by the hand, with the teeth. She was trying with her hand. She tried with Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya and all that. But finally, complete surrender. Raise the hand. Jo hoga. Whatever will happen by Krishna's desire, it will happen. And Arjun is also doing complete surrender by shooting his best arrows. Krishna says, I need to kill now. Whoever comes, whether it's my Dadaji, whether it's my Guruji, I have to do my best. And he killed. He killed on account of Krishna.
Paritranaya.
Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkatam. So happy. Thank you everyone for reading nicely. You're encouraging me. Please keep reading nicely. Prabhupada said, as a lawyer knows his law books, a devotee should know all these verses on the tip of the tongue. And that's why I'm not limited to Rupam Prabhuji, sorry, 15 verses of your syllabus. I want everyone to remember, 200, 300 verses. And they're very easy. Just read. I always say, read and write. Read and write. If you cannot write one day, read. In 50 weeks, you will know at least 50 verses. Very easy. If you don't know, ask your kids. They will teach you the verses. Because kids are learning more verses these days. Okay. And Krishna, what is he sort of asking here? Mai arpit mano buddhi. You give your mind and intelligence to me. And then what will the result? Mam evashyasi asanshaya. You will come back to me. Surely. Ashanshaya. No doubts are left. Krishna's assurance again and again is given in Bhagavad Gita. So we are in a very, very secure path. No matter how weak we are, how slow we are moving, just keep it there. Maharaj says, just be on the ship. Don't jump out of the ship. Even if you're not a very good devotee, it doesn't matter. Just be with other devotees. One day you'll become a very good devotee. Okay, we'll leave those verses. I'll pick up another verse here, which is very famous. 8:14, sorry. What's the theme of this verse? The only verse in Bhagavad Gita, it has also its unique position. Anyone knows what's the unique position of 8:14 in Bhagavad Gita?
Sulabha.
Bhakti Yoga.
Yoga is Sulabha.
Yes, so two people said, Mohit Prabhu and Jadavana Prabhu, can you combine it together? Bhakti Yoga is Sulabha. The
Easier
only
path.
verse in Bhagavad Gita which is endorsed personally by Krishna, being it's very, very easy. Sulabha. Sulabha means in India we have Sulabh Sauchalay. So Sulabh, and what's the opposite of Sulabh? Anyone?
Durlabh.
Durlabh. Huh? Any verse in Bhagavad Gita use the word Durlabha?
Yeah, Durlabh.
Durlabha Manusha.
Samahatma Sadurlabha.
Samahatma, we just read it. Verse number
719.
719. Thank you so much. So Prabhupada Gita gives both perspectives. So Samahatma Sudurlabha. Tasyam Sulabha Partha. Thank you. And who will get this Sulabha? Ananya Cheta. If your Chitta, your consciousness is completely for exclusive. Ananya, na anya, no other, only for Krishna. 8:15. Again, a unique verse in Bhagavad Gita. What's the uniqueness here?
Result we achieve by practicing bhakti.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Prabhuji. You become Mahatma. Thank you, Mohit Prabhuji. More?
Never return to this world.
No, that's good. You never return to
Describe
where?
about the Mahatmas.
Dukhalayam Shashvatam. This word, I'm sure everyone would have heard, 10,000 times in ISKCON. Everyone refers to this verse, huh? Dukhalayam Shashvatam. Dukhalayam Shashvatam. Dukhalay means?
Dukkha
Place of misery.
Alay means?
place of
Now the place of misery, many devotees have written, and that's fine, full marks. There's a difference between place and alay. Can anyone explain this? Sundar Gopal Prabhuji, you're a Sanskrit
Ale-
expert.
Ale
I was-
means full of something.
Huh?
Ale means which has the abundance of. So Vidyalaya means where you have Vidya. Pustakalaya, where you go and find a lot of books.
So we have Pustakalaya, we have Vidyalaya, Vidukhalaya. Abundance, more than abundance. There's a more to it.
It means everything is nicely arranged in that.
Nicely arranged. Nicely arranged. That Pustakalaya, pustaks are nicely arranged. Now, if you go in your puja room, maybe your books are not nicely arranged. Pustakalaya, library, things are very nicely arranged because that's the purpose of library. Vidyalaya. When you go to Vidyalaya Rasanand Prabhuji is a school. In Hindi, we call it Vidyalaya, or in Sanskrit. So what you get there from 8 o'clock? Vidya, isn't it? There's not a ration card line there. When sugar is going to come out, ration. Anyone used to get ration in India? Jamati Mata is smiling, probably yes. I used to go in a ration line, Ragbi Mataji. Huh? So this is not a ration line. This is school. Huh? So school, you do prayers, say 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and then you go inside and there's a class 1, class 2, class 3, like that. Huh? Vidyalaya. Any more examples? Rasalaya. Anyone knows Rasalaya mean? Madiralaya.
Himalaya.
Himalaya. Hare Krishna.
Vachanalaya.
Vachanalaya. आज तो मजा आ रही है. So nice. We should actually just do this. Huh? I think this opens up all of our mind, We had so many examples of Anu, Pari, now Ale, Himalaya, Vachanalaya. So all these Ale, the things are very nicely arranged for that purpose. So Dukhalaya, now it gives a different meaning than place of misery. Place of misery means it can be, unorganized, messy. No, actually it's perfectly organized and people get so much illusioned here. You and me speaking about it, but we are also illusioned in this material world. We are attracted. This is called the mercy of Maya Devi, you can say. Huh? So nicely she arranges, we all get stuck. We are reading Bhagavad Gita, we still get stuck. Huh? But okay, slowly, we are trying. So the Kale Ashashatam, and this definitely temporary. So no need to get discouraged because this is Ashashatam. Everything will pass. Everything will pass here. Okay, beautiful. Now, I love this verse, and actually it's loved by our acharyas as well. 28. What's the theme of this verse?
This verse is for devotees.
Thank you, Mata. That's a good guess as well. Every verse in Bhagavad Gita is for devotees. Why it is specifically for devotees? What extra encouragement this verse gives to devotees? What extra assurance?
Knowledge that fixed in devotees in the path of devotion.
More, Prabhuji?
It is discussing the importance of Vedic culture.
More.
If you're doing this bhakti, it will surpasses all those 4 activities.
Thank you. So if you are doing bhakti, you're not going to miss out on anything. Sometimes you say, "Arey yaar, you're not living your life properly." Come on, we'll show you. Krishna is actually saying 4 activities. Vedeshu. Vedeshu means, everyone can say.
Studying
Of Vedas. Yageshu.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifices. Tapasu.
Austerities.
Tapasya. Daneshu.
Charity.
Now these are the 4 basic angas of Vedic culture, which gives a lot of benefit to any soul, which is fine, and gives some sort of punya, and then that punya comes in the form of enjoyment. That's fine. So when you are doing bhakti, you may feel like I'm not doing any separate Vedic adhyan. Now this Bhagavad Gita study is not called Vedic adhyan because this is for the pleasure of the Lord. Yagya, we also participate in Yagya, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya every day, but we are not doing separate Yagya. We are not doing separate tapasya. We do on fasting on Ekadashi, on Janmashtami, Ramnavami and all that. Not separate fasting and not a separate dan. We do something for Radha Gopinathji. So whatever punya you're going to get out of that, atyeti, what does atyeti word mean?
Even higher.
Even higher. So suppose a very simplistic language. If you do, dan of $100, it says you get back $10 lakh. तुम एक पैसा दोगे वो 10 लाख देगा. Rupa Prabhu can translate that. तुम एक पैसा. So Rasanand Prabhuji, if you give 1 cent, there's a song in Hindi, you will get 1 million back.
1 paisa.
1 paisa. 1 paisa, sorry. Rupa Prabhu, thank you. So 1 1 paisa is even lower than 1 cent. Anyway, just for understanding, if you give 1 cent, you get 1 million back. So now, if you give, say, $100, you know, how much you're going to get back? And people will be calculating. And I'm missing out on that. No, Atyeti, actually, devotional service surpasses all those results. Huh? Great assurance of Krishna. And what is the other assurance? Satyabhama Mataji, second assurance of Krishna. That's a simple material assurance, right? What's the real assurance of Krishna? You're on mute, Mataji.
Real assurance is that we will reach the eternal abode. Prabhuji.
What's the word here? Paramisthanam is the word. Huh? So not only we'll get some temporary bucks in the material words, that's all right. We may get it, we may not get it, but paramisthanam upayati, you will achieve paramisthanam. This is what the real perk is, which others don't understand. They are all after, you know, okay, you know, do some karmic adjustment, do some extra dan, and you know, get enjoyment in Swarg Loka, all that things. Okay, thank you. Going well. Chapter 9, this is the best one. Okay, who can give a chapter 9 theme in 2 lines?
Oh, it's talk about the confidential knowledge and how we can talk about the specific knowledge required for performing that most confidential knowledge.
Okay, knowledge required to perform confidential knowledge. Mohit Prabhu, can you simplify it, please? It's too difficult for me. Can we have your darshan, Mohit Prabhu? You're having your impersonal aspect. Thank you. Darshan is much. We are personless movement, so I request everyone to be in person, at least on Zoom in person. Zoom also becomes impersonal these days. Zoom itself is in person. In person, we are impersonal is square. Okay, so Mohit Prabhuji, can you please expand on your lines?
Basically, to talk about the qualification we need to understand this most confidential knowledge.
Yep, little bit more, and anyone else can help here.
So it tells about the difference between the soul and the body, and it tells about, it is confidential because it talks about the pure Ananya Bhakti. And
yes, so it's confidential. It talks about pure Ananya Bhakti and how to achieve that Bhakti. Patra Pushpam Phalam. For example, just one example here, right? Because people don't understand it. Nowadays, this one point, unless you do something big, people don't consider it big. Like unless you do yagya, swaha, haha, put this, that, people say, oh, big yagya kiya. And if you call them, Prabhu, can you chant 1 round? Oh, what is this round, Hare Krishna? I know this Hare Krishna mantra. Huh? So they don't consider unless you do something big. And the bigger the yagya, sort of a size of fire and size of Brahmana, they feel, wow, very big thing is done. Actually, nothing is done. Nothing is done. So when you chant Hare Krishna, the real things are done. But people don't have that sort of vision. So that's why this is called confidential knowledge. Only devotees can understand and can access. Although it's open to everyone, but it's not accessible to everyone. Huh? This is called...
Prabhu, can I make a point? Can I
yes, please,
share
Mata.
something?
Yes.
This is from Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj's lecture. He was saying that in chapter 1, Krishna says, Arjun says, ask Krishna to bring the chariot in the midst of the battlefield, Senayor Ubayor Madhye. And that's where, yeah, and that's where Krishna starts talking about Bhagavad Gita. And everybody, Atra Akshauni Sena, is listening to all of this. But Krishna says, this knowledge is only understood by Arjun and nobody else. So he says, the word used here is not guhya. It is not guhya tara. It is not, it is guhya tama. It is so confidential. And yet it is explained in a midst of a battlefield where Krishna has asked someone, Arjuna has asked Krishna to draw the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. And yet it is the superlative degree of confidentiality. So that is how beautiful, how confidential it is, yet it is open to everyone. So it's almost like an oxymoron. It is confidential, yet it is open to everyone. So the point he then, of course, he tries to emphasize on is that why is it confidential? Because you need faith. You need to have faith to understand his words. And if you have that, then the confidentiality just disappears and you know what he's talking about. So, but I am only paraphrasing. If someone, if you all go and listen, I'm sure you have and others have also, but if you listen to that, the way Maharaj describes, it just gives you goosebumps. It's so beautiful.
Thank you, Mata. It's very nice. Maharaj's attractive voice, you know, is very, very charming. No, so thank you. Now, in this chapter, which verse is used to give the name of this chapter? Anyone remembers? Which verse in 9th chapter gives the name of this chapter?
Second verse.
Thank you. 9.2. Can you recite, Mataji?
Rajvidya Rajguyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Vagmam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam.
Jai. ये लिस्ट में है क्या?
Yes,
In the
Prabhu.
list?
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
that's why.
That's why I know it well.
Oh, Krishna. Please remember some other verses as well. Anyway, that's fine for now. First verse, there's nice word. Yach gyatva moksha se ashubhat. Ashubh means inauspicious. So, yach gyatva, by knowing this knowledge, this confidential knowledge, ashubhat, all the inauspiciousness will go away from your life. And now, Mataji said the second one. I'll just close this. So this verse, how many aspects are there in this verse? Someone else can say? Can just read?
7.
7. Can you read that, Rupam Prabhuji?
Yes, so Rajavidya,
Yep. Yep.
Rajguyam,
Yep.
Pavitram,
Yep.
Uttamam,
Yep.
Paritra,
Pratyaksha Vagamam.
Gangamam, yeah.
Pratyaksha word, है ना? Pratyaksha word?
Pratyaksha.
Agamam. So Pratyaksha Vagamam.
Pratyaksha. Dharmyam, Kartum, and Avyayam.
Susukham hai. Susukham Kartum. This is one word. So it's very joyfully performed. Many times when we come back from a program, we are frustrated. We are doing some sort of ninda, criticism. What has happened in the program? It says Susukham Kartum. You should be very joyfully performed. Like we are all sitting here and I'm very happy. I'm sure you're also happy. Maybe some of you are not happy. Kab band karenge bolna? Maybe. But that's why I put a condition last week. This class may go a little longer, which is fine. Once in 6 months, we can have a little longer class. Why we have longer class? One benefit is there. We get absorbed. Otherwise, we actually keep running. So some absorption, like right now, I think at least you're all absorbed. You're giving so many nice examples. It comes out of absorption. It's good sometimes. So Sukham Kartavayam. Is joyfully performed. So when you come back from a program or from some seva, sometimes we are frustrated. Mohit Prabhu, you can witness that. It happens sometimes. What went wrong in that seva or in that program?
Well, sometimes depend, like what's the mood. Like sometimes you do a lot of work and someone will come and praise you. You think, oh, I'm doing everything. And then he's giving, all the credit to someone else. Or you have bad experience with other devotees. You think he's a nice devotee, but there's something wrong to you, and then you get offended. Or,
so basically, our perception of the situation makes it wrong. Our perception. The katha was nice, devotee served you nice prasadam, the host did nice job, as per his capacity. Our perception of the situation or of the people makes it wrong. So if we change our perception, most of the time at least, we will see the right thing there, because this should be joyfully performed. Susukham Kartavayam. Okay. 9.3, theme of the 9.3. I'm just asking the theme, not the translation. Who will say theme? Rasanand Prabhuji? You can read the verse.
Yeah, one who's faithful. Okay, those who are not faithful in this devotional service.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the so
faithless
theme is
people cannot attain Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. So faithless people. So verse of 9.3, you can say the theme is what is the result of faithless people? Ashraddhana. 9.4 onwards. What's the theme?
How Lord pervades the universe with his impersonal features and energies.
Lord's relationship with the material world, basically.
Aishwarya.
Aishwarya, yes, Mother, that's correct. So the 9.4 onwards. So I'll not go in the individual verses. 9.10, Prabhupada quoted this verse lot of time. Maya Dakshil Prakriti. So Krishna is the supervisor of this Prakriti. So everything is going on. In Hindi or English, not even a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. Because Krishna is the supervisor. Hare Krishna Abhayan, happy birthday. Our little boy is here, so we can say happy birthday to him. His third birthday was there yesterday? Or second? Second. Oh, sorry. Second birthday. Happy birthday, Abhayan. Hare Krishna.
Happy
You can all say happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Hare Krishna. He's been away for a month or so. He has just come back. So very happy to see him back. Okay. 9/11. 9/11, I'm just saying. It sounds something different. What's the theme of 9/11?
It's
Not
Krishna's
in America.
relationship with different people is mentioned.
Okay, Tane Mataji, sorry, say again. Many people.
Krishna's relationship with different people is mentioned.
Thank you. And specifically, which category is mentioned in 9/11?
Mayavad.
Mayavadis.
Why? You're right. Just can you pick up some word here in the verse, English or Hindi? Manushim tanumashritam. I have taken shelter in the body of a human. Right? So they consider, not that Krishna has taken. Krishna's body is always spiritual. He never takes, like we have taken shelter in human bodies, right? So in different countries, in different cultures, we have taken shelter. Our soul has taken shelter. Krishna's body is not like that. Which verse in Bhagavad Gita represents that Krishna chooses his body? Not different body, but he chooses his time, place, and all that. His parents, Krishna chooses all that. We can't.
Atma Maya Sambhava.
Atmaya Sambhava. 4.5. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sambhavami Atma Maya. What's the beginning of that verse? Anyone can have a look? Okay, I'll have a look here. 4.5. No, actually it's 4.6. Sorry. Ajopi san abhyatna bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim sam adhisthaya sambhavami Atma Maya. Anyone else has appeared out of Atma Maya? Anyone? Raise your hand. नहीं सब क्या कहते हैं देवी माया से आए हैं. We all come from Devi Maya, not Atma Maya. Only Krishna has come from Atma Maya. So 4.6 you can remember, the beautiful verse. Okay. 9/11 is done. 9/12, theme of the 9/12. Theme, just the theme.
Everyone is doing activities in the hope of something.
That is true. And more specific, Mataji, you said everyone. There's a specific word here. No. So 9/12 is a result of 9/11. So if you do 9/11, like follow the Mayavad path, what happens? Mogasha, Mogasha, Mogasha. Mog means bifal. You will definitely going to get frustrated. So 9/12. Which other verse in Bhagavad Gita relates with 9/12? Similar theme is mentioned. And that's in your module. I give you a hint. In your module. So it's between 7 and 12.
7:15. Namam Dushkriti no Moda.
No, this theme. So that is a generic theme, Mataji. Namam Dushkriti no Moda. So Mogasha, Moga Karmano, Moh Gyan Vichesa. So basically you are going to get frustrated at the end. If you follow 9/11, Mayavad, which other verse in Bhagavad Gita tells the same thing, a similar thing, I should say?
In the chapter 12, when Lord answers that it's a difficult
12.5. Deha vadbhir avapyate. Klesho dikhatarastesham avyakta sakti chesam avyakta hi gattir dukkham. Avyakta hi gattir dukkham. So you can say there's a parallel here. Krishna is giving results of following the impersonal path. Okay, come back here. Where are we? Now 9:14, this starts the pure devotional side. So it gives the impersonal side and then gives the devotional side. Kevala Bhakti. Akhanda Prabhuji was mentioning. 9:14, beautiful verse. I think this is a question as well in your assignment. 4 qualities of a Mahatma. Everyone knows this verse. It's nice. So 9:14, 9:22, it should be in your list. Rupam Prabhu, not sure how you're going here. Not there or there?
Yeah, it is there. 9:14 is there.
9:22?
Yes,
Not there?
not 22.
Should be there. This is one of the very, very famous verse.
25 is there, 22 is not.
25 is there. 22 should be there. Ananashyantyento mami jana paripaste. Any examples from Shastra Yokshe Mahamyaham we discussed about? 922. Huh?
Arjunacharya.
Arjunacharya. Huh? So we know that he crossed the Bhagavad Gita verse, but Krishna personally came after that. Okay. 25. Oh, that's a beautiful verse. What does this verse defeats? Which philosophy this verse defeats? A Bengali word. I can give a quote, a reference. Jatomat tatopat. Sorry, I heard this recently. Amog Leela Prabhu's, all these things happening. Jato mat tato pat. So yanti devrata devan pitram yanti pitrvrata. So this verse clearly defeats that. मतलब जो रास्ता ले लो वो वामन क्षेत्र जाएगा, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? Any route you take that will end up in Vaman Kshetra, not possible. That route will be different. So very clear mentions. 926, everyone knows this. What's the relation between 926 and 927? Anyone or everyone? Relation between 926 and 927.
So if one is not able to do it with bhakti, with love and devotion, then at least Krishna is saying, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, do it for me.
So follow the principle as a duty, if not out of love. So first one is out of love, which is the highest. You offer with love. But if you cannot do this, how you should start? Duty. Example, when Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, I don't feel like going down to you. Prabhupada said, you go down first and the feeling will come later. So many times we follow duties. Children go to school, they wear a particular dress, a particular shoes, a particular bag. When they go to college, no need for all this. So why? Because they are mature enough by that time. Hopefully they are mature. Some kids are not. So start as a duty. And what the duty is? Attach Krishna in every aspect of your life.
So is that Nishkam Karma Yoga, correct, Prabhu? 927?
I don't want to give the words, Prabhuji, to be honest, because these words are interchangeably used at different places. So giving a word, stamping that shloka with that verse limits the words. And I personally don't want to do that. As a duty, yes, it's a beautiful thing because it's a duty. It's not love, it's duty. But Krishna is saying, do it as a duty, no problem. 28 is fine. 29, beautiful verse. I think we already discussed that. Yes, Rupam Prabhu?
It's a verse to remember.
Verse to remember, Hare Krishna. It's a very, very nice one. Any examples someone can give of this verse, second line? Or I can say third, fourth line. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te teshu chapiyam. So first line is quite clear. Okay, question. First line relates to which verse in Bhagavad Gita earlier? Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshasti name priyaha. Which other verse in Bhagavad Gita is giving a sort of a similar theme? Earlier, that means earlier the 9th chapter. Everyone knows that. I'll say, oh, pata tha.
Is it the one we just discussed, Param?
Param Brahm Param Dhama?
Yeah.
Not really. That's showing the supremacy of the Lord. Here, Lord is saying.
Even over here, we're discussing super soul of Krishna. So.
This was basically saying, Mataji, that I neither love someone nor I hate someone.
Okay.
411. Thank you to Charu Mataji. So whoever worships me in whatever way, I reciprocate. So similar things is the game. I don't love, I don't hate, I just respond. But the second line, anyone remembers the example, Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya? So first line is saying, I am impartial. Second line is saying, I am partial. Bhai ek cheez batao. Thank you, Mataji. Pandavas. So basically, Krishna is saying, I'm impartially partial. That means I was definitely partial. So many people, readers, take this verse as impartial. Actually, the theme is partial. Krishna is partial to his devotees. An example given by Tanya Mataji. Pandavas, so many times for the Pandavas, Krishna served in such a way that actually it looks like a fair deal. Krishna did it. Now, Bhagavad to Sakshat, Bhagavad Pranit. Dharmam to Sakshat, Bhagavad Pranitam. Yamaraj prayers in 6th canto, 3rd chapter, Bhagavatam. Saying, what is Dharma? Dharma is what Krishna does, what Krishna says, that's Dharma. He's killing Bhishma Pitama, he's killing Dronacharya, he's killing Karna. That is dharma? Yes, that is dharma. You don't have to put your mind there. Whatever Krishna says or does, that is dharma. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagat pranitam. So Krishna likes Pandavas. So yes, he does even so-called adharmic things. Okay, very nice. 30th. Wow, this is a fantastic verse. Rupa Prabhu in the list?
No,
No. Please put it in your list. Please put it in your list. This is very, very nice verse. Apiche suduracharo. What does it mean? Sudurachar. So achar means behavior. Durachar means wrong behavior. Sudurachar means very, very wrong behavior. Abominable action, Prabhupada writes. Most abominable action. Any example in Shastra which when someone has done a sudurachar?
Jagai Madai.
Thank you. More?
All the asuras.
All the asuras.
Ajamil.
Ajamil. I was thinking Ajamil. Thank you, Prasanna Prabhu. I was thinking. Again, it can be many examples. Ajamil has done all the nonsense, right? He was a Brahman and he had done all these 60 years of nonsense. But eventually he came back. Thank you, Prasanna Prabhu. And there can be many more.
Bilva Mangal Thakur.
Bilva Mangal Thakur. Thank you, Mataji. Another example. Purushottam Mas is coming. Chaurashtakam. Thank you, Mata. Nice example.
Can we call Durvas Muni as doing that because he offended Ambarish Maharaj?
Sorry,
Can
so
that
what
be called?
So what? So Durvasa Muni as a sadhu?
No. Can he be called as he has done the abominable action because he offended Ambarish Muni or no?
Yeah, but this verse is basically saying if you have done Sudurachar and you're engaged in devotion, I consider you a sadhu. So there are two parts to it. So Durvasa Muni just fits on the first one, but not on the second one. So we are looking at example where a person has done a very bad activity, but then he sort of came back to devotion.
Valmiki.
Yes, Valmiki. He was killing Brahmanas. So many Brahmanas, like thousands of Brahmanas he killed. Okay, good. So Sadharya Samantavyaha. Any examples from Bhaktivinoda Thakur on this verse? We have discussed that. Except Charu Mataji. She knows this sort of secret. What example Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives of this verse in Shastra?
930, bro.
Yes, 930, yes. I'm sure I've discussed it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur giving this example. So, Gopis of Vrindavan, they did from the worldly perspective Sudurachar, isn't it? You're going to meet a lady, going to meet a boy, a married lady in the middle of the night. Worldly perspective is Sudurachar. Is considered very bad. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, go to 931. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shastra shantim nikachati konte pratijanihi name bhakta pranashati. Gopis were never sort of destroyed. Rather, they are glorified, obviously. Shipram bhavati dharmatma. From worldly perspective, their husbands, their parents, their in-laws, they all accepted. Brahman Patnis in Vrindavan, they offered bhoga to Krishna. And they said, now Krishna, our husbands will not accept us. Krishna says, no, don't worry, you go back. They will all accept you. And the husbands glorified the wives. So, Kante Pratijanihi, why Krishna is asking Arjun to declare, not himself?
Because when devotees say, then it will be true. Krishna says he can change his mind.
Yes, because some time people don't believe Krishna. तो माखन चोर है, झूठ बोलता है. माँ मैंने मिट्टी नहीं खाया, I have not eaten the mud. Krishna is lying. Many people have this perception, although Krishna never lies, but they have this perception. So he's saying, but a devotee says that I will definitely consider. Similarly, if Prabhupada has said 16 rounds, will Krishna consider that? Sure. So don't ever underestimate that statement because Prabhupada has said it. Now, that may be very, very little qualification to go back to Godhead, but because Prabhupada has made a promise, Krishna will fulfill. So Krishna will never go back on the words of Prabhupada. So just continue that as much as possible. Name Bhakta Pranashati. Any other example? Name Bhakta Pranashati from Shastra, from Bhagavatam? The devotee never perishes. He comes back if he has done some devotion to Krishna.
Prahlad Maharaj was tortured
Prahlad Maharaj
so
was
much.
constantly a devotee. He was never a non-devotee and then a devotee.
Ajamil.
Ajamil. Thank you. Ajamil. Jiva Goswami explains, in the previous birth, he was a devotee actually. But then he cursed a lady and the lady cursed back and some external things happened, but very insignificant. But we can take both lessons. So whatever devotional service you perform, Gajendra,
yeah.
Gajendra. He did devotion.
Kal Krishna, the assistant of
Kala Krishna, yes. Chota Haridas Thakur. Chota Haridas, not Thakur, Chota Haridas. He also served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He got straight. Kala Krishna Das got straight. But they always come back. So Name Bhakta Pranashatis. Which other verse in Bhagavad Gita relates to this line? In a smaller quantity, I should say. Everyone knows that verse.
2.4.
Thank you. 40. What is the verse?
2.40.
Neha Vikarna
Whatever, little bit bhakti.
Verse. Talk in Sanskrit, not in English.
2.4.
Neha Vikarna Shosti Pratyavayo na Vidyate. Swalpam apesya dharmasit rayate mahato bhayat. Neha Vikarna. So Swalpam means Alpa, Alpahar. We call it in Shatabdi, Rajdhani in India, Alpahar, breakfast. So Swalpa means bahut chota means very, very little bhakti if you have performed. Krishna will actually acknowledge that and rewards you for that.
Was 640 also?
640, yep, that gives long term, Madaji. So 640 gave long term perspective. And the principle is given in 240. Good pickup, Mataji. Huh? So 640, if you don't remember others, Arjun is asking what happens to the yogis who have done short-term devotion and long-term devotion. Okay, 32. So, okay, devotion service for everyone. 34. What's the theme of this verse? What acharyas are calling this verse?
The essence of Bhagavad Gita.
Prabhuji, you are right. Essence of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, that's also correct. More than that, similar to that, but more than that.
Actually, this is the most confidential knowledge.
This is the most confidential knowledge. Okay, that is also correct. More.
Worship Krishna directly.
Worship Krishna directly. Okay. This is the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence. Now, Jamati Mata will explain that. 4 layers. Why I've said that, you prove that, please.
So, Prabhu, I'll just try. I don't know.
That's fine, Mata. We're just talking. It's not a test. You'll not lose your marks.
So first of all, it comes in the second part of Bhagavad Gita, the second section of Bhagavad Gita.
But why don't you say Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the literatures? That's the first layer.
Okay.
You can say that? Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the literature, Vedic literatures, right?
Yeah.
So it is the essence. It's a part of that, right? Now within Bhagavad Gita, it comes in the essence of Bhagavad Gita, in the second section.
Yeah.
Now within the second section, it comes in the topmost section, 9th chapter. Now within the 9th chapter, it comes in the essence. So it's the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence. And you can put more essences there. Some vanilla essence, some, Kaju pista essence. So we all got it, right? So Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga, 9th chapter, and the essence of 9th chapter. Okay? Which other parallel goes in Bhagavad Gita with this verse? There's only 2 verses in Bhagavad Gita got exact repetition. Okay, half of the verse, exact repetition. What are the 2 couplets in Bhagavad Gita?
Manmana Bhakta Majjadi Namaskuru Mameva Shashi Album Atmana Mameva. That part is different.
Yes. So first 2 lines are same, second line is different. Which other verse in Bhagavad Gita? Everyone knows that. 1865. Thank you so much. No, I'm also reading the same verse. That's what happens. So 1865. These 2 verses. Which other 2 verses in Bhagavad Gita exactly same? Sundar Gopal Prabhu. We have read one more to go in our future module. So 1865 and 934 are similar. Which other 2 verses in Bhagavad Gita? Mohit Prabhu. Aapko pata hai?
No, I know this one. There's one more. Can't recall. Pata hai lekin. Can't think of.
I'm just remembering the number here. Par dharmo bhaya baha. If you remember that verse.
Swadharmo nidanam shreya paradharmo.
335 Shreyan Swadharmo Vigna Par Dharma Sonishchata. So that's one part of it. And another one comes in the 18th chapter, 47th verse. 1847, 335, 1847. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigna Par Dharma Sonishchata. Okay, everyone understood this one? Second line is so bhavam niyatam karma kurva napnoti kimisham. So 335, 1847, 934, 1865. Got it? Noted? We can go on. So 934, we haven't done 934 as yet. Just doing the comparisons here. What does this verse says? How many hierarchies this verse is giving? Sakhi Radhika Mataji. What are the different hierarchies given here? You're on mute, Mataji.
4,
5.
Okay.
4.
Someone saying 4, someone saying 5. Can we please read?
Yeah, it says, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me.
Worship.
Four things.
So Sanskrit words?
Thinking of
Madmana.
Manmana.
Manmana, that's the topmost. So put your mind into me. Second. What is the second category?
Bhakta.
Madbhakto.
Madbhakto. What's the difference between 1 and 2?
First is thinking
All the
of
scholars, please share your views.
Thinking, it is
Jnani can also think about the Lord, but
Give your mind.
thinking of the Lord, bhakti, not like Kamsa. He was always thinking of the Lord, but he didn't had bhakti.
Oh, I think we are gone too far there. Not really. We don't have to go to Kamsa. We can stay amongst devotee circles. Manmana means spontaneous attraction towards Krishna with your mind, right? Spontaneous attraction. We don't have it at this stage, at least, right? So what we have to do? Bhava Mad Bhakto. Follow the 9 different processes of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, and all that, right? Now, if you can't do that, Madhyaji, at least do worship to me. With your body, you do worship to me, which is also a part of Navada Bhakti in one sense, right? So follow the 9 processes of Navada Bhakti. So when we are following Navada Bhakti at this stage, are we doing with our spontaneous attraction to Krishna? Not really. We are sitting in the class thinking, when is going to go to end? When we go to Vaikuntha Loka, if we ever go, now you all will go, maybe I'm not, then we will sit there spontaneously saying, Prabhu, class band kyun karna hai? Why are you stopping class? You see the difference? In material world, we say, when are you stopping the class? In the spiritual world, we'll say, why are you stopping the class? Maharshi Goswami Maharaj said, you should leave the house when people are asking, your family members asking, why are you leaving? Instead, when they start asking, when are you leaving? So you should leave house respectfully. In your old age, after 50, it says Vanaprastha. In Hindi also they say Ikyavan, Bavan, Tirpan. They say go to 1, go to 1, go to 1. And when you cross 75, they say Ikyasi, Bayasi, Sanyasi. So even numbers are saying that. So after 50, you should respectfully leave. So family members say, oh Papa, oh Mama, don't go. Rather than they ask, ये घर पे ही बैठा रहता है, कुछ करता ही नहीं है. They always sitting in the home and poking their, hand in everything I do. Don't you have any other thing to do? So, Bhav Mad Bhakto, and then comes to Madhyaji. Madhyaji means with your body, you worship Krishna. And then even if you can't do that, what's the 4 hierarchy?
Namaskar.
Namaskar. What does Namaskar mean?
Just do pranam.
Dandavat pranam or Panchang pranam, whatever. Like do full pranam. Man nahi hai, you don't have any other anga of bhakti, just do pranam to Krishna. Mam evashi. And if you're doing pranam, what will happen? You'll do Madhyaji. From Madhyaji, you will come to Madhbhakta. From Madhbhakta, you will come to Manmana. And then Mam evashi tavam. So then you will achieve the perfection. Okay. 10th chapter. What's the theme of the 10th chapter? Who will say?
Krishna is the source of everything.
Wow. Okay. Opulence of the Supreme.
Opulence, Vibhuti, Krishna's Vibhuti.
Vibhuti Yoga. Huh?
What's it? Vibhuti Yoga. Yeah.
First 10.1. What's the theme here?
Glory.
Krishna is source of everything.
No,
Benefit
10.1,
of
Prabhuji.
knowing Krishna.
Okay. More. You read the verse. Bhuya eva mahabhava shrudu me paramam vacha yatte ham priyamanaya vakshami hit kamaya. See, each word is telling something. Priyamanaya, hit kamaya. Krishna loves the living entity. Huh? Hit means benefit. Kamaya, Krishna has a desire to do a benefit to the living entity. Priyamanaya, he loves us. And because he loves us, so he's just not teaching because he has a job to do. Like when you do a job in a college, you're teaching, you get paid for that class. So you do your job. But is Krishna doing a job here? No, he's like a father is telling, Shunu me paramam vachaha. Listen the supreme instruction. Why you should listen my supreme instruction? Because I love you. And I want your benefit. Vakshami. Vakshami means I'm telling you because I love you. Bhuya. Bhuya means, anyone knows Bhuya? This word comes Bhuya Bhuya. Again and again. So Bhuya means not Bhuta. Bhuya. Bhuya means Bhuya.
The mighty one.
Again, and
Bhul gaya. Bhuya means bhul gaya. Bhuya means again and again. So because Bhuya comes Bhuya Bhuya. That's why it says. Bhakti Marani uses a word, we're reading the verse 35, 135. Abhikshasha. Abhikshasha means constantly. 36, sorry, 36. 136. Bhuya Mahabaho. Okay, very nice. 10.2. Name Vidu Sargana. Everyone knows this one. Demigods don't know me. Maharishis don't know me. Aham Adir Hidevana. Maharshinam Sarasha. I am the source of every single one, basically. That's okay. 10.8. Who will say the theme?
Words to remember.
Words to remember. Thank you, Prabhu. Charumata, you can expand on it with your technical, high quality words.
You embarrass me.
No, Mataji. You're reading nicely. And we are supposed to do that. It's nice. We should, all of us should read nicely. Okay, who will say the three themes mentioned in this verse?
Sambandha,
Krishna is the source of
Thank you. Rupam Prabhu ne to cha diya.
Sambandha,
Sambandha. What word represents Sambandha? What represents Abhideya? What represents Prayojana? Who can tell? Sundar Gopal Prabhu thinking.
Thinking, Prabhu.
Thinking. Okay, someone who has thought. Come on.
Aham Sarvasya Prabhu is the Sambandha.
Sambandha.
Okay, Age.
Both
lines are Sambandha actually. Aham Sarvasya Matta Sarvam Prabhu. Both lines represent Sambandha. S. A. Abhideya, SAP, S-A-P.
Bhajante Mam is Abhideya.
Bhajante Mam. So if you understand the S, what do? You do A, Abhideya, Bhajante Mam. And then P.
Samandita.
Bhava. You get emotions. Huh? Now you don't get emotions for your neighbor or for your boss. You get emotions for your children or for your family. Sometimes positive, sometimes negative, but you do get emotions, right? So hopefully you get positive emotions for Krishna if you do nice bhajan, because susukhum kartum abhyayam. So if you do nice bhajan, the prayojana will be you get bhava for Krishna. We are in which stage at this time?
Sambandha.
Bhajan. We are doing some bhajan. So we have knowledge of some sambandha. We have realized we are doing some bhajan, but we don't have bhava. We are doing out of duty at this stage. Because devotees are telling whom we believe, it's nice for us. So we do that. Okay, nice. Let's move forward. 10.10. This is, I love this verse. I'm not sure, Prabhu, do you have it?
There, I'll double check.
No,
Yeah,
Prabhu. This is missing.
So all char are there in a list?
No, only 10.8 to
10.8,
10.10.
10.10.
Okay, very nice. Okay. So what does first line represent? Anyone?
The process.
Thank you. Process and the result. Okay. So if you do the process, result will come. Many times we say, oh, Krishna, don't know what to do. Krishna, things are not going right in my life. This, that, blah, 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 blah. Come back to the first line. Are you doing the first line? What are the two aspects of first line? Two aspects.
Satata and Priti.
Thank you. Ujjwala Mataji said, Satata and Preeti. Satat karna hai aur prem se karna hai. Now don't do grudging devotional service. Kya kare, bola gaya hai. Devotees to piche hi pad jate hain. Devotees just go after me. No, that's not a bhajan. Okay, sometimes we all can get upset and all that, but you should do Satat bhajan and Preeti Purvak bhajan. So if you do this two qualification, the Dami Buddhi Yogam, Krishna will inspire you in your heart what to do and what not to do. And then eventually you will come back to like Prabhupada, a very high example, but Prabhupada was doing Preeti Purvak bhajan, Satat bhajan. So he had many obstacles, so-called obstacles, but he knew what needs to be done. Very difficult obstacles he had, very, very difficult. Our obstacles are very small. But Prabhupada knew how we can handle the situation. Prabhupada was completely cool and calm, and sometimes he would even chastise his disciples. But he knew exactly what needs to be done. We get confused in a small problems of our life. We don't know what to do. So go back, look at these two lines, 10.10, and see, maybe I'm not doing these two correctly. And that's why I'm not getting inspiration from Krishna that what needs to be done. So if you are confused, one of the reason of the confusion may be, first thing is you are in goodness. Confusion means goodness. Why? Because you are seeing the things. Sometimes, people start, you see in movies, sometimes people start breaking the glass and they will put their fist on a table and table will break in frustration. But devotees don't do that. Devotees, Prabhuji, kya chal raha hai? Kuch pata nahi chal raha hai. Actually, there's a sign of goodness. Goodness means you are doing some calculation. That means you're thinking about it. What is the good aspect? What's the bad aspect? So first thing first, devotees are in mode of goodness, which is nice. But you can move forward and see how you can transcend, because goodness is not the ultimate platform. Thank you. 11, last verse. What's the theme of this verse?
Krishna talks about how I give the knowledge, intelligence to the one I'm talking about.
Krishna's personal help, basically, we can say. Again, another verse of assurance. Another verse of assurance in Bhagavad Gita. So 10:11 is a verse of assurance. And another verse, Tanya Mataji speaking.
934. Nama Bhakti Panashyati.
Thank you. 931 more.
Sarvadharman Parityaja.
Okay. 1866 more. 922. Yokshay Mahamyaham. We just read it, isn't it? And also 922. I just wanted to say something. I think there's a question in assignment. And I just wanted to say that. Thank you for. Where is 9th chapter? Vahami Aham. Many people have translated this, which is fine. As I said, I'm not deducting marks here, but I'm just saying one person. Raghavi Mataji, Hare Krishna, you there? Sorry, just remembered. And so I've done like 70 to 80% of assignments. Just a short answer at this stage. Mataji is not there. So far, I've only found like one copy which says, I personally carry. I literally wanted to see this word personally. So you can translate it, but you don't give the spirit. Otherwise, you have to put word personally. Krishna personally look after. It is a great difference between, looking after someone and personally looking. A mother is personally looking after the child. She cannot say, okay, you take my baby in for 3 days, No, she says, if my child, she may be tired, she may be very, sick, but she will love to personally look after the child. So Krishna personally. Vahami Aham. Aham is very important here. It's not I personally look after. So give that spirit to your answer. It's really nice. Okay, where I am. Okay. 12 to 13. So this is a great verse for defeating Mayavad. People, not Mayavad, sorry, I should say people who say why Krishna is the God. So not only Arjuna's opinion is given based on Krishna's previous opinions, he also gives certification, testimonials from others as well, from great rishis like Narad, Asita, Deval, Vyas, Swayamchai, Pravishim. It's a very nice verse. It gives many qualities of Krishna, which we already discussed in the beginning of the class. Okay, now I'll just move forward. I love this verse. I'll just do 2 more verses and we'll probably stop somewhere there. 2 or 3 verses I will do. I'll finish the 10th chapter. So in this verse, the important part is Yajnanam Jap Yajyosmi. Why this is important? Because many times they say, oh, kya baith ke mala kari, sitting and doing mala. Actually, mala is the yajna. This is told by Krishna himself. It is definitely a yajna. Nam yajna, Jap yajna, which we are doing. What is the different parts of yajna which we are doing in Japa yajna? What's the ladle in Nama yajna? Ladle means a spoon.
The tongue is a ladle.
Tongue. Thank you, Mataji. And what is the ahuti oblation which we are doing?
The consciousness.
Consciousness, because we are supposed to at least put our consciousness in the Nam. So this is also yajna. We are giving our time, we are giving our consciousness, we are sitting down, at least ideally speaking. With the tongue, we are vibrating the holy name of Krishna and putting the consciousness as an oblation, as an ahuti. This is a yajna recommended by, or Krishna is saying out all the yajnas. So even all these 5 yajnas, Prabhupada was in Vrindavan and he was doing this inauguration ceremony of Krishna Balram temple, and he had a lot of Brahmins being invited, local Brahmins, and doing yajna. But Prabhupada was talking to one of his disciples, or few of his disciples. He said, actually, all these yajnas are not important. I'm doing just because of the local people, so that they consider this as a valid temple. Only Nam Jap is all right. So with the Nam Jap, you can inaugurate the temple. We can invite the deities. You can do everything with Nam Jap. But Prabhupada said, I'm just doing for the external people. So yajna jap yajna is very, very important. Okay, 34. I love this. Mrityu Sarva Haras Shaham. What does it represent?
Krishna is the death personified.
Yes, that's the translation. So what does it represent? Krishna defeats everyone, even to the atheist. Why? Because they also die. So even if the atheists say, I don't consider Krishna this and that, Krishna says, no problem. If you don't consider me voluntarily in your life, what will happen? I'll come as a death. So Krishna says, I will take you anyway, if you do it voluntarily or involuntarily. So better we surrender to Krishna voluntarily. Okay, and last 2 or 3 verses. Yeah, 41 and 42 we can do. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattam shrimad urjitam eva tattat eva gacchatam mam tejo ansha sambhavam. So this line is very nice. Mam tejo ansha sambhavam. So whatever you see attractive around you, who is the source of that? And Prabhupada gave this example. If the spark is so beautiful, how beautiful will be the whole? So if spark means bodily beauty, bodily intelligence, money, whatever attracts us in the material world is just a spark. Mama Tejo Ansha, that's the Ansha of Krishna, which Krishna has given to that particular thing or to a person, and that's why that person is looking very attractive. So Prabhupada said, better than to get attracted to spark, you get attracted to the whole, the source of that spark, which is Krishna. And the last verse, which is very nice. Ek anshe isito jagat. In this, where we discussed those 2 diagrams, if you remember, Krishna's and Krishna's expansion. Anyone remembers the hierarchy in that diagram? How does Krishna expand?
First is Balram.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And then?
Then the 4 quadruple expansions.
Yep. Chaturvyuha. So first Chaturvyuha from Balram, and then
from that Sankarshan, Narayan is expanding.
Thank you. And then
from that Narayan, again 4 quadruple expansions. And from that second hierarchy of Sankarshan, the Mahavishnu, and then Mahavishnu expands.
Just try to look for the diagram so everyone can have a look. It's good to know that one, because we keep getting that case expansion. I'm just looking for the diagram. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, you sent on 28th of May on WhatsApp group.
That's okay. Everyone can see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see you guys. 1 second. Yeah, okay. So what Akhandasa Prabhu is saying is a reference to this diagram, which we have discussed. So Krishna, from Krishna to Balram, Balram to Chaturvyuha, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. From this Sankarshan, Narayan comes. From this Narayan, another Chaturvyuha comes. From the second Chaturvyuha, second Sankarshan, Mahavishnu comes, which actually Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Shirodakshai Vishnu, which is in this material world, looking after this material world. So Mahavishnu is considered the soul, the super soul of the whole material existence. Garbhodakshai Vishnu is referred to as soul of one universe, and Shirodakshai is the soul of each jiva. So they are the three hierarchies. So this sort of expansion in Vishnu form looks after the material world. They are pure Shuddha Sattva. Although they look after the material, they are Shuddha Sattva. There's no doubt in that. And then, yeah, so this is the hierarchy, which we can, even in Bhagavatam, this is mentioned in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how Krishna is personally expanding into different incarnations. Okay.
A question.
Yes,
maybe
Mataji.
a very stupid question, but
No question stupid.
why does the expansion happen only with Shankarshana? When I saw this diagram, I wanted to ask, but then it just slipped.
Okay.
And why not from Pradyumna, Aniruddha?
Yeah, okay. I'll open the diagram again. 1 second, Mataji, I sort of closed it. So expansions happen on all the levels. So yes, Charu Mataji, good question. So Mataji's question is, why only expansion happening from Sankarshan? Why not from others? So answer is given in Bhagavatam. Expansion happens from each. So that's why this diagram is very limited. It just gives the perspective how the three Vishnus are coming from Krishna. Now, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, they are also expanding in terms of different deities. Aniruddha is the deity of the mind. So it says, if your mind is very chanchal, you should worship Aniruddha. Pradyumna, I can't remember, but Pradyumna also appeared in Krishna Leela, in 10th canto of Bhagavatam, you can read that. And Vasudevji also appeared, actually. It says Vasudeva is also residing in the body of Krishna. Vasudeva appeared as Lord Ram. So Ram is Vasudeva, actually. And it says Sankarshan is Lakshman, Pradyumna is Bharatji, and Aniruddha is Lakshman. So expansions are happening all the time. In this diagram, it's just one thing is shown, which is important. But expansions are happening on a mental level, on a physical level. So Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, they are actually Chaturvyuha, and they appear together. And it says Vasudeva mentioned here, obviously. So there's one Vasudeva who is the father of Krishna, and Krishna is known as Vasudeva, not Vasudeva. But this Vasudeva resides in Krishna in this different pastime. Now, if you know, when Krishna is killing Putana, it says Krishna is never killing Putana. Krishna never does the killing part. Who does the killing part? It says sucking part was done by Sankarshan. Sankarshan is Shivji. So Sankarshan, if you know in Bhagavatam, Krishna, Chitraketu Maharaj Upakhyan, Chitraketu Maharaj have darshan of Sankarshan, not actually Krishna. It's written, he was worshipping Sankarshan Dev. So Sankarshan also appears, there's a Sankarshan Loka, and there are expansions. So everyone is in a full functional mode here. But we just read one line here. Okay, let's stop here. It's 6:26.
Can I ask one more question, please? And
Okay,
it's it's not kind of related to this, but also, I was hearing some lectures, and there one Maharaj was talking about, Bhaktirasamrit Maharaj was talking about Vrindavan Krishna, and then he was
Mathura
talking
Krishna,
about
Dwarka
Mathura Krishna, Dwarka Krishna.
Yes.
So they never leave their respective places. They are always there.
Exactly.
But it just appears that they have left. Yes. So this whole concept was so confusing.
Actually,
and does
it's
it
very simple. It's very, very simple. We'll talk some other day. It's not an appropriate time today. It's very simple concept, actually.
Okay.
Is that the only question, Mataji?
Yeah, and is it related to, so that Krishna is where in this chart?
We can have a whole class on that. Different types of Krishna and their expansions in Vrindavan and in Dwarka and in Mathura. This is Vrindavanam Paritajam Padam Ekam Nagachati. So Krishna, Shyamsundar Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna never leaves Vrindavan even for a second. So what goes out, it's actually Mathura Krishna and then Dwarka Krishna. Bhanu Maharaj has also explained that in a beautiful presentation given in Sydney Temple. Anyway, I think that's a different topic altogether. We can discuss some other time. But there are different expansions of Krishna with different roles. Any other Bhagavad Gita related question? Quick one. Last call. You're all scholarly people now. I can certify that. I really like the discussion. I'm not sure about you. I really relished it. I love it when people give different references. So please keep reading like that.
So Prabhu, one last question. For the exam, like we did last time, it's short questions.
Yes.
Is that the same format this time?
Mataji will discuss next week. I'll dedicate some time for exam format. So today I just wanted to dedicate time for real study. I call it real study. So next week we will do chapter 11, 12, and some exam things and whatever else you have. If we have time, we can do 13 chapter as well. So we'll see. We'll discuss. But keep reading your assignment, your notes, your verses, personal list, Rupam Prabhu's list, and all that. But do the real study, which I think you are doing because you're responding very nicely. So many similar words, synonyms, antonyms, examples from Bhagavatam and other Puranas coming. It's very nice. Okay, so let's stop here. Sundar, Gopal, Prabhuji, any quick announcements before we leave?
Not really.
Yes, I've already announced what I wanted to in the beginning. So no problem with that. And Purushottam Mass is coming from this Tuesday, as everyone probably knows. Jai Jagannath, Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. So please take whatever vow you can do in your own realm, whatever works for you in your own bodily situation, social situation, but take some vow to please Krishna and pray to Krishna on 18th of July that please help me to fulfill this vow, and Krishna will help. Just on a simple note, I've made a simple Excel to track your rounds, extra rounds. If you want, I can give you that, or I can post in the group. If that helps you, you can just put your rounds, your target. Mohit Prabhu already working on it with a huge target. And 2 Ekadashis are coming. One is on, what's the date? I forgot actually, 29th, if I'm not wrong.
29th and one is today.
Yeah. So one is on 29th, one is on 12th of August. So they are the Ekadashi which comes once in 3 years. So we don't know if we will, see the Purushottam Mass in 2026, but 2023, hopefully we'll all see our bodies are good. So try to chant 64 rounds on this Ekadashi. Very, very auspicious. Just get up a little early, make your arrangements in such a way where you can take benefit purely for you. No commissions given to me. So please do yourself a big favor on these 2 Ekadashis. Try, make a target and pray to Krishna. 64 rounds on this Ekadashi. If you can come to temple, do some seva, it's nice. If not, just do Nama Seva. Nama Seva, 64 rounds.
They
No
both on
pressure.
Saturday.
Huh?
They both on Saturday.
Both are Saturday by Krishna's arrangement. So it's very nice. Yes. So if it's on weekdays, maybe a little challenging, but weekend, one facility Krishna has given already. And our body is first healthy this time, at least what we see on the screen. So please take benefit, make a target, and try when you will do 64 rounds. So for Gopinath,
can we all congregate somewhere? It's just very inspiring to have.
It is very inspiring, but I don't know how far is practical because people have DTs, people have little kids, and bringing kids 4 a.m. in the morning.
No, not 4 a.m. Throughout the day, 64 rounds if we have to chant.
Yeah.
Then is it possible?
I'm open to proposals. But yeah, the target
because
should
on my own, I know it is very hard for me.
But not impossible. We are giving
Not
a target
impossible.
to everyone.
I have only done it twice in my
Mataji, we can
lifetime.
do it area-wise.
He's going to be third.
Living
Here, Losaki Radhika Mataji. Rasanand Prabhu already have his venue open. I heard that.
Yeah, that's what we used to like in
Yes,
some
we
congregations.
opened it for 12th of August.
12th of August, Hari Bol. So 29th, any venues available?
Come to my temple. Close to.
Temple, Hari Bol. Mohit Prabhu is ready to accommodate and feed everyone and chant 64 rounds as well on top of it.
Yeah.
He is an austere person. He can do Bhishma Panchak 5 days, no water, no food. I don't know how Prabhuji does it. He is on a different level. Anyway, so eat. I'm not saying don't eat. I would say eat and chant 64 rounds on that day and make your facilities like that. Take help from your neighbor devotee or, this devotee, that devotee, put all the kids together and the kids will be happy. Mother, father will be happy and then take turns. 2 hours, they look after your kid and 2 hours you look after their kids. So there's something like that, manage, make a plan in your Excel today or tomorrow that how I'm going to do it. There's no question of not doing it. The only question is how I'm going to do it. So it's a request, obviously. It's a request, humble request. But I'm saying, make your mind like that, and I have to do it. There's no choice. I'm not going to do it. How? That's a question. Work it out. Work it out. Take help. Seek help. Call devotees. Make some samosas for the devotees. Ekadashi samosas. So do something. And there are plenty of help available. Mohan Prabhu has already offered his help. Rasanand Prabhu has offered their help. So please try. And Jagannath Ji is there, and he will fulfill the desire. Again, it's for you, so please try. And I'll send you the Excel. If it is beneficial for you, please fill up. Only take 1 second of your day, every day. Put your rounds there. Charu Mataji has already started on it, preparation part. So it will be very nice. Offer something extra to Gopinath. Huh? Every Ekadashi we do, extra rounds, but this Ekadashi, try 64. It's not difficult. It's just a matter of making yourself available on that day. No prajalpa at all to anyone. Prabhuji will talk tomorrow. No phone calls, no WhatsApp. Put it off. What's wrong? One day if you don't respond to a message, no one is going to, suffer. Unless that's the case. No problem. You respond tomorrow. All the messages will be responded on Monday. Put you on WhatsApp. Out of office. Put you on WhatsApp. No replies to be done. Don't waste a single second. Just for your DTs and your chanting. Only 2 things on that day. And your kids, whatever necessary things you have to do for your kids. Obviously, that has to be done. Has to be done. No doubt about that. But arrange. Okay, let's stop here. 6:34. Sorry, I took 34 minutes extra today. But I put that last week, that expectation. Now there's a drama in the temple, which whoever wants to watch the drama, please log in online. And enjoy Purushottam Mas drama. And happy Purushottam Mas to everyone. And please pray for me. I can also do some seva for Krishna in this particular month. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. All of Bhakti Shastri devotees ki big jai. You're doing wonderful. So please keep going. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.